protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.
Hello everybody, welcome into the Asphalt Outlaws Racing Truck Series live from Rockingham Raceway. We got a good one in store for you here tonight. Thank you all for coming out. You're watching Austin Green on Ghoster Racing Network. Didn't think we were going to be here tonight, but here we are, excited for it. And these guys at a track that I have yet to get to commentate at. And again, Rockingham, we'll get more into your race info in just a moment. These guys are getting their warm-up finished up. So with that knowledge, Take just a moment here to take a look at a couple of the big storylines that may be coming in right now. Eric Hegdahl is leading the warm-up. In terms of times, we know he's already got a win on the season. David Traylor still searching. He's gotten close a couple times, and man, you can almost feel him knocking on the doorstep. It's just going to be a matter of a couple more races before we see, of course, David Traylor find his way into victory lane for the first time this season. At least you got to think. And again, special track here tonight, Thunder Alley. You see it on the sides of the wall. A classic. We don't see it raced in real life anymore, but to see the trucks come here, excited for it here tonight. So let's get things started as the drivers start to get gridded up with your race info here on the night. So winning bid 160. Again, the Craftsman Truck Series is going to be 160 laps tonight, and that'll tie into the distance around here at Rockingham. Just under a mile, and you see it's a little odd-shaped. Overall, looks like a pretty even D-shaped oval, but the tri-oval gets a little wonky as you go down there to the right around turn one. I'm trying to look. It almost looks like a little bit of a short shoot at what you see at Talladega or Daytona, but heavy banking in the turns, long straightaway. Still going to see good speeds. Maybe the closest comparison would be Dover, but not quite as much banking here at Rockingham. Looking at the rest of your race info tonight, we will see that stage break on lap 55. Everybody is going to have 90% fuel, 5 sets of tires in total, 1 fast pair fixed setups, and then 3 green-white checkers if we need them. All right, so as the drivers start to get rolling off, let's take a look at your starting grid here on the night. It's going to be Clinton Woodby who takes the pole. Kevin Winker will roll off on his outside in second. Back in third will be Isaac Smallwood with Eric Hegdahl rounding out row number 2. Braden Avila and Mark Beverly making up row number 3. Evan Schilling, Keith Prince in row 4. John Shilino in 9th. Jay Stinson rounding out your top 10. Robert Dudley and TJ Elaine back in row number 6. And moving on to 13th is Jesse Calloway with Bill Hales to his outside in 14th. Joe Yakes and Nicholas Lawrence in row number 8. Michael Newman and Roger Strickland in row number 9. Jeremy Talley, Jonathan Herbert rounding out your top 20. Colton Hardy, Dennis Steele in row 11. Haas Beverly and Randy Goetsy in row 12. Will Rainwell 25th. Andrew Hensley 26th. Jesse Wise 27th. David Traylor in 28th. Sammy Davis 29th. Dylan Paws in 30th. 31st. Brody Benty. Rick LePage 32nd. Tyler Beverly 33rd, and Lance Thompson rounding out your field. He will roll off 34th. All right, here we go. Different track, a very technical one we're excited for here tonight. Green flag is in the air. The Asphalt Outlaws Racing are live at Rockingham. Good jump right off the get-go for the 2 guys on the front row. Camera angle's a little bit different here at Rockingham, but look at them already trying to fan out. No 3-wide, but plenty of 2x2 actions. They go down the back straightaway for the first time tonight. Going into turn 3, notice the bumps. That's going to get a lot of these guys on the front splitter. Send your truck up the track. You got to watch for those. Be a little careful, but while you got grip, you got to get some track position. Exactly what Isaac Smallwood's trying to do. A couple spots back, you see the 13 machine here, Mark Beverly. He's trying to work his way through traffic as he takes a peek to the inside of Eric Hegdahl. Boy, that was a close call for just a moment, but up front, it's going to be Kevin Winker who's going to get advantage of that battle early, and he's actually ripping the wall. Again, high banking here. I'm not sure if it's progressive, but Winker making that top lane work right there through 3 and 4, was able to get around Clinton Woodby. And he's not looked back since, so the 92 and the 42 have already pulled out to just over a second lead on Isaac Smallwood. Braden Avila in the 25 still hanging strong, as is Mark Beverly. The 13 and the 11 have not been able to find any separation in the early goings of this race. And as we go even further back, here's a look at Robert Dudley, Jesse Calloway on the outside. You see the 8 of Nicholas Lawrence just behind these two. Thought maybe we were going to see our first 3 wide there for a moment. Bill Hales just in front of a couple others. Colton Hardy, we saw him with a good run a couple weeks ago. Ooh, thought we had some contact towards the wall a little bit further up. Oh yeah, we do. Jonathan Herbert further back with some trouble. His first caution of the night. And we got a couple of them stopped on the backstretch. You can see right there that there's not a lot of runoff room here at Rockingham if you're going to wreck. You're not going to have many places to try to hide. The front stretch, a little bit more runoff area, but man, on the back right there, looks like there may have been nowhere to go here for these two who got the worst of it. The 69 of Jesse Wise and the 88 of Jonathan Herbert brings out your first early caution of the night. So here we go. Let's back this up to where it's going to start. This is over here again through turns 1 and 2. See the 88 on the top side, the 69 on the bottom, and ooh, Jonathan Herbert gets into the outside wall. I wonder if he hits one of those bumps right as he gets on exit, or if the truck just starts to tighten up on him. Let's take a cockpit ride. Let's take a listen here. Yeah, I think it's kind of a mix. Starts to get tight on those bumps. Truck just not able to turn. Maybe hits one of those bumps at the wrong time. Sends the front end up a little bit. And then right here, Jesse Wise just nowhere to go. Innocent victim. Watch this as the 88 comes down. He's going to clip the right rear of that 69 machine. And we said there's not many places to run. And not much safer barrier either, as he's going to get up here and back it into that outside wall. That's going to be how he gets the rear damage. And what a close call that was for Tyler Beverly. Oh my goodness, we're going to have to take a ride on board with him. David Traylor as well, just sneaking through the gap, but then not everybody's going to be so lucky there, as you saw Dylan pause, T-bone him. Couldn't quite escape, and then the 88 slides down and comes to a halt on the inside wall. So a couple different trucks getting pretty heavy damage out of this one, all things considered. Here's another look at it. And when he gets turned here, there's the rear damage. Man, I cannot believe Tyler Beverly was able to part the seas right there. Went right through the middle. And then you see David Traylor. He's trying to go through the middle of 69. Starts to roll back down. And then you see Dylan Paws actually coming in the frame. He's trying to get a load up, but just can't do it in time. Tries to swerve out of the way at the last second, but unfortunately just a little bit too late. Let's take a ride on board here with Tyler Beverly through this one. And watch just how close this is from the nose cam. So he can't see the wrecks. He's got the 14 in front of him with Sammy Davis. And by the time he can't see it, he's got to make a quick move. He does just that. Holy cow, what a piece of driving right there from Tyler Beverly to prevent getting any damage here early on in this race. And we'll take one more look at this here for Jesse Wise and Jonathan Herbert from the blimp cam. When you get in that outside wall, you can see it's not that easy to get straightened back up. And even the cars behind. Again, you run a lot faster than you would expect here when we talk about a 1 mile racetrack. And we didn't get a chance to look at the speeds just yet, but as they get the debris and carnage cleaned up over there on the back straightaway into turn 3, we get ready to get the 1 to go signal. It's Kevin Winker out in front with Clinton Woodby in second, Brady Avila third, Isaac Smallwood in fourth, and Eric Hegdahl currently rounding out your top 5. And taking a look on if anybody decided to bring it down to the pits. Yeah, you better believe so, and we had quite a few of them. Not a bad decision either to bring it down. I mean, it looks like actually most of the guys that came down, I think, were guys that had damage, but we did have a couple people playing some strategy as well, maybe trying to take a set of tires early, trying whatever you can here. So we'll see how it works out. Again, that fuel window at 90% is going to be right around 66 to 70 laps. Depending on how much you save, you might be able to go a bit further than that. The question is going to be, can the tires make it that far? So we'll find out here as get ready for that second restart. Again, big thanks to everybody that's tuning in here tonight. I want to apologize again for some of the issues that we had and just not quite being on the A game last week. Was a little bit under the weather and a little bit tired as well, but boy, it's good to be back here tonight, refreshed and ready to watch these guys rip it around for still well over 150 laps here in Thunder Valley. The Rock, it's got multiple different nicknames. One of the all-time greats in NASCAR, and one of the ones we're going to remember here for the rest of the season with a finish we could see. Here we go. Green flag is back in the air at Rockingham. Good jump that time for Kevin Winker. You see he is on that outside, but the inside you'd think should have the advantage here, at least on this first lap. And I think Winker likes that outside. He was able to make it work and defend off Clinton Woodby during that first run. And he's going to do just that as he sends it up the banking through turns 3 and 4. He'll get clear of the 92. Let's take a look at the dashboard speed for these guys. And how about we take a ride on board here? Let's take a ride on board with your leader, actually. You know he's going to be running the fastest laps. So here's Kevin Winker as they get down into the turns. You see right here he's trying to wrap the yellow down in the 130s as they get on the back straightaway, puts the throttle down up to almost 160 miles an hour. And again, in comparison to Dover, not quite as fast, but certainly pretty speedy for a mile-long racetrack. Front stretch a little bit warped, but very narrow again. Not a lot of infield on the back or the front straightaways. Pit road's going to be a whole nother monster that these guys are going to have to tame tonight. We'll talk more about that as the pit stops get closer. Going back a little bit further, this time they all single file. Oh, wrecking out back, one into the wall. Trying to figure out exactly who that is. Looks like it's going to be, I thought it was maybe Dylan Paws. That's Haas Beverly. Second caution of the night here on lap number 12. 22 definitely is going to sustain some damage from that. You see it on the left side and some on the rear. We saw it out of the back of the camera there. And he's up top here. Let's see what happens. He gets up top, starts coming back down. They go 3 wide for just a moment, but that hole closed up in a hurry as the 69 of Jesse Calloway, who was actually, fortunately, just involved in that last track. Sorry, that's Jesse Wise. Apologize if I was calling him Calloway. Jesse Wise slides up. It's a 22. Makes a pretty good impact with the rear of the truck into that outside wall now. That view didn't quite do us justice in terms of, did Haas get looser? Was he starting to try to come back down the track? It's hard to say from that view. I'm thinking he was trying to get a little bit more turn out of the truck. Yeah, and unfortunately when he comes down, like I said, that hole that was there for just a second for the 69 of Jesse Wise, boy, it closed up in a hurry. And here's what it looked like for Wise as he's going to take a look to the middle here. I think he tries to bail out of it. Yeah, he does. You see the RPMs drop just before contact, but again, fortunately just a little bit too late as quickly as things happen here. As Haas Beverly spins up, lucky to not collect anyone else, and man, close call right there. So we take another angle of it with the 63 machine. And that was Brody Benty that just missed him. Take one more shot of this from TV1 before we go check out if anybody's doing any strategy play. The 17 as well of Will Rainwell just sneaking by on the inside. So an innocent spin there for the most part, but it does still give some damage to Haas Beverly. I don't think he's going to risk using that fast spare just yet. And now the question is, do we see some pit stops here? Looks like Woodby and Winker are going to fake everybody out. But does anybody else come in? Didn't have a lot of takers on that first stop. If you did come in, you know you can't go back in right here. But if you didn't, strategy's open a little bit here. We have ran a couple laps on these tires, and Trailer, he's going to try to fake everybody out as well. He's not going to actually go down and further back. Doesn't look like we're really going to get any takers. And I agree with that strategy. 5 sets of tires is usually a pretty good amount, but I mean 160 laps and we still got a long ways to go. You need to make sure you have those tires if you were to need them at some point the rest of this race. And so as we're on David Trailer right here, I think now is a good time to start talking about, bringing up the guys that we have carrying driver cam tours here tonight. And how about it, David Trailer? I think he's had one just about every week for us here so far. And he's got another one here tonight, actually, if we can get him up. And there he is. Talk about still looking for that first win. He's come oh so close a couple times. Never know, maybe tonight's his night. Looking for the second of 3 drivers that we have carrying onboards for us here tonight. And taking a little bit of a closer look towards the front of the field, it is John Shileno. That 33 Sonics Graphics Design Chevy Silverado. The driver out of Hamburg, New York. One of the Asphalt Outlaw Racing drivers as well. Looking to see what kind of run he can put together here tonight. And then last but certainly not least, about Michael Newman. Seen some good runs out of him so far this season and a lot of promising efforts, showing some emotion at different points, but right now not the night that the 12 wants to have. Things not quite going his way. Sits down 12 positions from where he started, just inside the top 30, but he's still got plenty of time to go in this race. And track position, I don't think it's going to be as hard here to make up as we actually see it some of the other tracks, such as like a Nashville Super Speedway, which reminds me it's kind of a similar setup, a little bit longer and a little bit faster, but overall kind of same design. High bankings in the corners, but still narrow radius. You got to really check up for them. So we'll see what these guys have in store, but I think if you can get that top line working, you're going to be a very valuable prospect and one of the guys that could potentially win this race. Isaac Smallwood, of course, the man on a heater right now, coming off back-to-back wins. Got it done last week, looking to get it done again here tonight. Pace car is going to make the hard left turn. Second restart here of the night. Green flag back in the air at Rockingham. Drag race through turn number 1. Kevin Winker trying to lay it on the quarter panel of Clinton Woodby. He does just that, but Woodby's actually able to find some grip on exit. He's going to dive it down in here to turn number 3. Winker doing the same thing he's done on both starts that we have had previous to this here tonight. Sends it into the bank and all the way up to the wall, but able to carry plenty of speed and plenty enough to stay side by side with the 92 coming out of the corner. Further back, Mark Beverly trying to get up in this mix, as is Isaac Smallwood. Clinton Woodby will have to give way yet again. Further back, 2x2, rack it out back. The 28 goes around. That's a big hit into the inside wall. Oh my goodness. The 45 of Tyler Beverly gets clobbered. They're still racking down here. Sammy Davis slides in with nowhere to go. Tyler Beverly, one of the worst hits of the season here at one of the tracks you wouldn't expect to see it. Oh my goodness. Gets back rolling, but we got smoke out of the 14. The 45 is destroyed as well. The toes bent all out of whack. He lost his front end for a moment. And so that one's going to collect probably a couple to a handful's worth of fast repairs here, still before we've even made it to the lap 20 mark. And here you go, back this up. Watch how this starts. So you see the 45. He's not actually what starts this. It's the 28 of Dennis Steele. And just a similar kind of incident to what we saw with Jonathan Herbert earlier. You see he's running the top of the track. First few here will takes on the cockpit. And he's just getting up the groove and gets a little bumpy up there. Gets in that outside wall and shoots him off of that outside wall. When it does, man, poor Tyler Beverly, nowhere to go. And he gets turned around into the inside wall. They're both going to hit it pretty hard. I mean, that was already a good shot in itself. But then here you go, Tyler Beverly backing straight out onto the track, nowhere to go. And it was Michael Newman. Oh, my goodness. That was a brutal hit for both of those trucks. That's going to be a fast repair for sure for Tyler Beverly and Michael Newman. And then trying to sneak by here, the 29. He's going to make some more contact. So we talked about Sammy Davis sliding in on the bottom. Take a look at this one from the blimp cam here. Maybe show the collateral damage a little bit more. Man, that's a tough break for Michael Newman. He really did have nowhere to go. And then you see Sammy Davis slide in there at the end along with the 29 as well. Andrew Hansley. Take another view of this one here. How about from the gearbox cam? Actually, I'll tell you what, we're going to go to the left front here for Tyler Beverly. As he gets tagged, slides back up. Oh my goodness. What a hit. Final look at it here from TV3. And so the big one strikes here early at Rockingham. You don't expect to hear us saying those terms too much when we're not at tracks such as Daytona or Talladega, but it's getting that kind of feel early that this one could be one of those where you just need to try to maintain track position. Not sure how many cautions we'll get, but I got to think with the amount we've had so far, we're definitely due for a couple more before this race is all said and done. But an eighth of the way through, Kevin Winker has led him all just about. Clinton Woodby, your pole sitter, still sits in the top 3. He's in second. Isaac Smallwood, back-to-back winner, looking to make it a trifecta here tonight. He sits in third. Mark Beverly back in fourth. Eric Hegdahl rounding out your top 5. And taking a well, I keep saying take a look. We can't really actually look at it here, but trying to see if a lot of guys decided to bring it down to the pits during that caution now that we have been out a little bit longer. And I think we still got a majority of your leaders that have not decided to pit yet, saving that tire set. They just don't feel like we've really ran enough green flag laps, and I mean, I can't really disagree. I think at this point, save the tires. You never know when you're going to need them. As looks like we did get the one to go signal, so we're getting ready for the green flag here yet again. A couple quick reminders. First thing is we do actually have another race that we're going to head to after this one here tonight. It wasn't initially planned, but FEG PC Money Racing is hosting their PC Championship tonight. And so the top 10 highest earning drivers throughout FEG Money Racing over 2023 are going to be racing tonight for a chance to win a gaming PC. Whoever finishes the highest that was top 10 will win that. And of course, you'll have your normal race payouts. That'll be just after this at about 10:45. Make sure you go check that one out. But still a lot of action to go here tonight. I'm keeping an eye on some of these guys further back. Joe Yakes, the runner-up finish last week, couldn't quite get there, but you know he's going to have some speed and can never count out the 11 of Eric Hegdahl from what he's shown early on in the season. Keith Prince, Mr. Consistency, and Mark Beverly. Right now, this is looking kind of like his most put together run so far throughout the season. And he's going to continue to try to make his way to the front. He's in the second row, not much more work to do. Green flag back in the air this time. There will be no contest into turn 1. Kevin Winker will get out to a pretty healthy lead right off the jump. Further back, already going to get side by side though here. Joe Yakes jumps to the inside of Keith Prince. This is going to be the battle for that 6th position. Keith Prince will send it in, and it just continues to seem like not just for the leaders, but for anybody on that first lap, I'm choosing that outside line. You can drive it a lot deeper into the corner, roll the center pretty well, and you know you're going to be able to carry more momentum off. I also wonder if it's maybe a little bit less bumpy up there. Oh, the 33, John Shileno, hold on to it, John. Back into the outside wall, he's coming down the track. The 4 trying to save it. Oh, not going to work. They're wrecking again as the 8 spins around. Caution comes back out. The 17 of Will Rainwell got some damage as well. See the 40 arriving on scene. Randy Gozy. But that started coming off at turn 2 and kind of developed all the way down to back straightaway. And for John Shileno, just could not quite hold on. Not sure how much damage he got out of all this, but definitely a little bit there on the right front. We'll have to go in and get some bandages, try to get it fixed up, but see what happens here. As you see the 33 again. This shows the caution, but this doesn't do justice to how this incident actually starts here. So here you go, coming off the turn 2. Watch 33, top of your screen, middle. There you go, he just gets tight. Again, same as we've seen in a couple of the incidents here tonight. And then trying to save it, bounces off the outside wall a couple times. Eventually, as he gets back out on track, it causes that checkup. And you see the 8 was able to get the memo. Nicholas Lawrence was able to get checked up. Unfortunately, though, just behind him here. TJ Elaine not able to do so, gets into the 8, sends him around in the 17 of Will Rainwell with just nowhere to go. John Shileno does drive off, again, relatively unscathed, and surprisingly, nobody else was collected in this one. So they keep it going. Here's a couple different angles of it. Yeah, and Will Rainwell, he did take that damage in a bad area on the front of that truck, but it looked like he got pretty slowed up, so I don't think it'll be too bad. And here's, take one more shot of this one here real quick. That's a pretty big check up there. I mean, can't put it on TJ Elaine by any means. It's just, I mean, it's a tough track out here. Again, it's similar to Dover, but everybody knows how tricky Dover is. I think Rockingham's probably a little tougher, especially from what we've seen here tonight. Picture if Dover had a bunch of pumps in it. That's what it seems like it's been the case. And as much speed as that top lane has had, especially through 3 and 4, it's been equally just as bumpy and ineffective over in 1 and 2. And that's why I think you've noticed most of the leaders wrapping the bottom for the most part here tonight. But 26 laps complete, 4th caution of the night. Kevin Winker, your leader. We're going to take a quick break. We'll go side by side, and we'll be right back for the restart at Rockingham. Back live at the Rock, getting ready for another restart. If we wrapped up the 4th caution of the night, Woodby and Winker, they've been the 2 on the front row for every restart here tonight. And yet again, Kevin Winker immediately gets out to a pretty good jump. 28 laps now complete, but this continues to push that fuel window back further and further. And now, as we're going to be approaching lap 30, I don't think we're expecting that pit stop till maybe as far as lap 100. And if you stretch it far enough here, it could be a one-stop from here to the finish. Kevin Winker again rolling that high side. He's been so strong up there all night. And John Phillips, by the way, in chat did ask, what place is Jeremy Talley? And, you know, I was wondering, I saw him in here tonight, I was wondering where he was at. But I'm not sure if he had a technical issue earlier. Actually, he may have been involved in one of those wrecks. Got a little damage, but right now he finds himself 2 laps down. And, oh, Sammy Davis now with some trouble as caution is back out. And looking for him, there he is, the 14. Goes for a spin over, looks like turn 1 and 2. Brings out your 5th caution of the night. And so I'm trying to figure out, don't see again much damage. But you know he had to have at least spun it around to bring the caution out. So here we go, looking at a replay. Sammy Davis. Oh, he's going to get some help here from Will Rainwell. Oh my goodness. Will Rainwell came flying in there. Let's go take a roll bar view here for Will Rainwell. And does he just get in way too deep, or is there a checkup? Yeah, well, doesn't look like he gets in maybe as deep as I initially thought. Definitely looked like from that other view that he absolutely came flying in there, but I think this might do us a little bit more justice. I was watching the 14 get into the corner, and you got to wonder, does Sammy Davis come down a little bit here? So Will Rainwell is definitely sliding up, but yeah, Sammy Davis does start to come down, and I think Will Rainwell was just starting to get the truck to rotate back towards the bottom. So they meet in the middle, contacts made, 17 slides through, the 14 not so much. He goes around, but they were towards the back of the pack. And I say pack, I guess I should say back of the field. And so the damage for Sammy Davis doesn't have any because he didn't get tagged by anybody. Just a pretty harmless slide. All it's going to do is, again, tick off some more caution laps. Take one more shot of this one. I'll tell you what, the pace car is getting a good workout here tonight. He's ran more laps led than Kevin Winker has here so far tonight. Wow, boy, was that a close call towards the end. But looking at strategy again, not sure. It's really throwing some of the strategy off right now. I mean, 30 laps, but again, just not a whole ton of green flag laps that have been ran on these tires. I think it's enough where obviously you could certainly justify going down the pits to get some fresh tires, and it looks like that's what a couple guys did here. Is we missed it, so I just want to take a look. And does it look like Kevin Winker decides to bring a group down here? I think he did. And nope. Looks like he chooses not to. He stays out. And so he will keep that status as the leader here. 32 of 160 laps now complete. By the way, just quick check on the chat. Please let me know how everything looks and sounds. I'm a little bit more concerned about the sound, but of course you always like to know if the graphics look okay. Does the race audio match pretty well with my audio, or am I too loud, too quiet? Just let me know what you're thinking if you're out there watching. Appreciate everybody being here though again. The Goat Bird, saw him in here pre-race. Tour operator, rooting on Winker Nation, and then John Phillips. Good to see everybody in here this Friday night. The Rolex 24 tomorrow in real life. We'll be at that event, so we don't have anything scheduled for tomorrow, but I've had a good time now. As we've brought up so many times how tricky Rockingham is some of the other tracks that these guys are going to head to. Looking to see if we get the one to go signal right here, but next up on the schedule is Atlanta Motor Speedway, and it's a mile and a half, but you might as well call it a super speedway, especially for the trucks. That's going to be an exciting one next week, 117 laps. The other thing I did not mention, I don't think, in race info tonight that I do need to make note of is the stage break that these guys have in each and every race. The lap that it comes on varies a little bit, but here tonight that stage break is on lap 55. And so we will get a caution then, guaranteed no matter what. And I think maybe you set your strategy up for right around there, and it'll definitely be a one-stop from that point on. But that puts us at about 22 laps of racing from here to that stage break. Not a long time here. Again, track only a mile in distance. We'll take a look at lap times, but a couple of the other highlights. After Atlanta, we go to Watkins Glen, first road course of the season, followed by Dover Auto Club Darlington. Then we go back to Talladega, second race in March. Martinsville, Kentucky, Mid-Ohio. Daytona rounds out the season. Championship race is at Kansas Speedway. That's another good track for the trucks. So here we go. Pace car is going to make the left turn back onto the pits for the 5th time here tonight. 22 laps to go in stage 1. Green flag is back in the air. Quickly off to the races. You see, though, a pretty even restart further back, especially for that inside line. Everybody got going really well. Bill Hale's trying to find a spot in line. He slips up a little bit up front. They've already single filed out for the first 4 spots. Keith Prince pulling into 5th. Just behind him, though, that's where the battle is at right now. The 11 of Eric Hegdahl up top. The 87 of Joe Yakes on the bottom. And Yakes proving that there is some grip still on the bottom as he's going to make that stick. And we keep taking a look at dashboard speeds, but taking a look at weather again. Track temp is relatively cool at 86. Usually when you have that cooler track temp, that bottom's the place to be, but right now we have continued to see both lanes working, especially on these restarts. Question becomes, how long can that last? So there's the 18 up top of Evan Schilling. Just behind him, Jesse Calloway. 16 of Colton Hardy in front of these two. Jay Stinson as well. Haven't had a chance to shout him out here yet tonight. One of the Venom Racing drivers, but over here in the Asphalt Outlaw Racing Series, trying to see what he can do. I don't know which team he works with over here, but you got to assume maybe he's with guys such as Keith Prince potentially. I mean, you know, those two get some chemistry time together as they both race in the NOMA Truck Series and NOMA Gen 6 Series. There's the 53 of Bill Hills taking a look to the inside now of Roger Strickland. Braden Avila's back in this mix as well. Looked like he maybe had a thought right there for just a second at going 3 wide, but I think he quickly thought better of it. So they'll try to sort that battle out. As back here, we've got a little bit of a 4-truck battle. And this is all for 20th, make it 19th, but Brody Benty will get clear. Now it does go back to 20th. Dylan Paws, Michael Newman side by side. And for Michael Newman, had a good run going earlier, but after he got caught up in that wreck, it has since been just trying to recover. As you see him take a dive to the inside right there of Dylan Paws. Oh, the 45 of Beverly getting out of shape. Looks like he's going to save it. Gets it back together before they get to turn 3 and 4. And that was another close moment there for just a second for Tyler Beverly. Meanwhile, back up front, Kevin Winker still being scored as your leader. He's got that gap up to just under half a second over Clinton Woodby. And Isaac Smallwood, he has been continuing to learn some new things throughout each and every restart that we have had. And these short green flag runs that we've had is this time he's hanging with your leaders a little bit right now. Throw your top 3 under a blanket as they all sit within a second of your leader. But as we go a little bit further back, the 3 of Keith Prince, the 87 again of Joe Yakes. There you see the 11 of Eric Hegdahl, the 31, the 16. I mean, just about everybody in your top 10 right now has had speed in the last few weeks and has shown some here tonight. As there goes David Traylor. He's going to take another look to the high side right here. You see the 54 looking to see if he can get a run right here. I think he's going to get one. Yeah, he does get side by side. And important to note here, similar to a track like Nashville, guys can cut the apron anywhere you want. Wouldn't be too viable, though, to do it in the turn with how much banking there is through the corners. But you certainly could cut that front straightaway just a little bit, make the shortest way around possible, the fastest way around. And now TJ Elaine in the TikTok 51 Chevy Silverado is trying to hold off David Traylor while also trying to advance a position here. Take that away from Colton Hardy. Oh, man, that was a close call right there. He really dove it into the corner. Almost got into the left rear there of Colton Hardy. Oh, now Hardy does tag the outside wall. The Thunder Valley back straightaway. He does save it, but he's going to lose another spot right there to the 4 machine. And so Kevin Winker here continuing to try to extend that gap. He will be coming to 12 laps to go in this stage next time around. And as you go further back, looking for some of the big battles right now. Got another one here with the 63 of Brody Benty, Tyler Beverly, and Jesse Wise. And there's Michael Newman taking another look to the inside of Dylan Pazu. Thought for sure he already got around. I'm not sure if he had an issue or what happened, but yeah, they worked his way back around. Coming out of turn number 4, taking a look here at the 28 now of Dennis Steele. Lance Thompson on his outside. Thompson going to try to work a run here through 1 and 2. And Dennis Steele, a guy who's not made that much noise yet in the season. You know that it's just a matter of time. The driver out of Jacksonville, Florida, currently sits in that 25th spot. And he is currently down 3 positions. And I'm not sure if I had to take a guess on how many position stage points awarded. You would think it'd be 5 to 10 spots. That stage break going to be coming in 10 laps when we cross the line this time. So certainly got to get as close to the front as you can if you're going for stage points. Now, if you're not, maybe you incorporate a little strategy. Clean air has certainly seemed to be a key player here tonight, especially for Kevin Winker as he continues to tick off laps led. But to do that strategy, you're going to have to go in at least 2 laps before the leaders. You will be good to go on fuel, though, for a 1-stop, whether you pit then or you pit after the stage. Because, again, we'll get to 55, probably go back green with right around 60 laps completed. And even if you make it to, we'll say 70 even, that's still going to be probably about 130 laps. So you'll still have 30 to go and just not going to be able to make it. 4 tires and fuel, I think, is going to be the option every time you do pit here tonight. Just way too valuable. Speaking of 4 tires, I meant to take a look when these guys were still on 4 new ones, but lap times here for your leader, Kevin Winker, sitting right at about 24.297 seconds. Isaac Smallwood, though, not letting him run away. In fact, he was able to get by Clinton Woodby, who's started fading a little bit here now. And moral of the story here is for Smallwood, after getting around Woodby, he is now trying to track down your leader. Question will be, what is he willing to do if he gets there? A mile and under tracks, you always got to think about a potential bump and run. I certainly wouldn't count it out if Isaac Smallwood can get within range, maybe give him just a little shot, get him a little loose on entry, try to get him up the track. But these guys are kind of just starting to match each other's lap times for the most part. In fact, we'll do a little comparison here. As there you see Winker and Smallwood. Smallwood was better 3 out of the last 5 laps, but that last lap is actually Kevin Winker, who is back to being 0.03 of a second faster. So we'll see how that continues to change. Sim time right now as we take a look again at the weather. Currently about 2 o'clock sim time. Track temp has heated up just a little bit. It might heat up a little more as the day goes on. But wind's still nice and calm and 73 degrees. The ambient air temp. The virtual fans are certainly enjoying it, as are we. And we will be coming to 5 laps to go here in the stage. And we keep saying the stage, and it's only one stage. These guys don't have to. Oh, the 16, Colton Hardy gets in the wall again right there. He's still in the wall. What in the world's going on right here? I think he's going to get it back together. He does. You're going to wonder how bad the damage is for Colton Hardy. He does choose to stay back out on track. But man, that was a big moment right there. As anytime we've seen a guy get in the wall tonight, it has not ended well. Didn't look like it was right there either, but they all keep it together. As here's Mark Beverly in fourth, currently up 2 in total from where he started this race at. There's the 42 of Kevin Winker, followed by the 5 of Isaac Smallwood. And Smallwood must have heard me. He's got theirs. Caution's out. As we got a wreck on the back here. The 69's in it of Jesse Wise. And he's not just in it, he's destroyed. Not sure if this will be a night ender for him, but looks like another pretty big hard hit. And with smoke out the back, if he doesn't have a fast pair, that definitely will be the end of his night. Not the way the loose lug nuts driver wanted his race to go, but sometimes the nature of the beast here at these tracks that are real technical and real grueling. But does he get any help, or is this going to be kind of all on him? And so you see, we'll go to the blimp cam first. Just behind him there, that's Tyler Beverly. Starting to creep into the picture. 69 maybe got tight, had to let off, or just running his line. Not sure, but the 45 of Tyler Beverly just drives up on him and unfortunately makes some contact with the left rear. Beverly with a gnarly run and just misjudges it. Once he gets into left rear, that sends that 69 truck straight down into the inside wall. Nothing he can do. And again, another wreck. We're lucky that everybody was able to miss him for the most part. Actually, back that up. I don't like the way that view went about it. Yeah, I think maybe he was starting to get tight. We'll take an onboard view to try to confirm that. But if you get tight, your natural instinct is to bail out of the throttle. But sometimes you don't realize how much speed you lose and how quickly you lose it. So here you go. Take a listen. Yeah, I think he just thinks he's getting too tight, or maybe he doesn't feel comfortable with the back end of the truck, because he definitely bails out. So that's a tough break for him and Tyler Beverly, as they were both collected and involved pretty significantly. Take one final view here from TV2. And that's a pretty square impact. I mean, anytime you get smoke out of the back, whether you think it's bad or not, it means it's bad. And we keep saying that there's just nowhere to run here. Similar to kind of what we saw at Pocono, with how narrow it is for, at least relative to its size. But as we go back live and up front, Kevin Winker still being scored as your leader, but shouldn't be too much of a surprise there. Clinton would be second. Isaac Smallwood in third. Mark Beverly in fourth. Keith Prince fifth. Joe Yakes in sixth with Eric Hegdahl in seventh. Jay Stinson eighth. TJ Elaine in ninth. Braden Avila rounding out your top 10. I think they're going to get the one to go signal right here. Again, normally we wouldn't have this many, but when you get a lot of early cautions, got to take a couple breaks, go get a drink of water, do the same yourself. But before we say that, looks like we got a couple people saying that it sounds good. John Phillips and tour operator. All right, we appreciate it. Thank you, guys. So we're going to take a quick break. I think they're getting a one-to-go signal, so it will be very brief. Just going to go over a quick ad. We'll be right back. Stay with us at Rockingham. Back into the restart zone we go. Green flag back in the air. 55 of 160. Make it 56 as they cross the line. After getting that caution wrapped up, again, it continues to shift that fuel window. By the way, I do believe that was for the stage break, so we actually are going to have to go back and take a look at results. Did not realize that initially, but yeah, these guys are now one lap past the stage. So I think what they probably did there is whoever was leading at the time of caution was your stage winner. And so I think that's going to go to Kevin Winker. Clinton Woodby, I believe, will get second, or Isaac Smallwood, rather, I believe, will get second. Here's Joe Yakes looking for a move on the outside of Clinton Woodby. And they're thinking about fanning out 3 wide here. Jay Stinson, Keith Prince, again, 2 of the drivers that we see over in the Noma Truck Series. Just behind them, Eric Hegdahl, followed by TJ Lane, David Traylor. A little bit of side-by-side battling back here with the 52. Roger Strickland, Colton Hardy, and Robert Dudley. They'll get it stretched out as they work down the front straightaway. And here's John Shilino and Jonathan Herbert as, Dylan Pause. A little bit of an issue here. I think he got into the grass. Looks like he was able to save his 99 truck as well. He'll continue on. Just have to get some of that debris off the tires. But as we go back up towards the front of the field, Kevin Winker. Oh, hold on for a minute. Clinton Woodby with another close call. No, that was Isaac Smallwood, rather, in the 5 truck. As the 13 now of Mark Beverly is challenging for second. And this would be the yellow flag is out. Will Rainwell has crashed. And make it a couple more here on the front straightaway. Looks like going to go around it there without too many problems. The 29 is able to roll away from the scene, as is the 99 of Dylan Pause. So this track, it looks like it's going to start with Will Rainwell. And, does he get some help here? Doesn't look like he's on the bottom by himself. He gets on the apron. That's what he does. Yeah, he gets those left sides on the apron. Very abrupt transition, and now the truck is off balance. You don't have 4 tires on the same bank angle. Instead, you got 2 of them on a flat surface, 2 of them on a bank surface. That's not going to work. Gets him out of whack, out of control as he goes for a spin. Fortunately, gets tagged by the 8 of Nicholas Lawrence. There you see the 29 of Andrew Hansley sneaking around the initial wreck. That's where he's ultimately going to get collected with Dylan Pause for what is this second wreck. Watch Hansley here. Yeah, Dylan Pause just coming in there a little too hot. Got to think Hansley's probably not going to be too happy with that one, but another wreck where we don't see a lot of damage. It's been that way here. It seems like for the most part tonight we've had a couple of big wrecks, but putting those aside, most of the wrecks have been relatively small for my book for a track like Rockingham. And so as they come to a stop, see if anybody tries any strategy. In fact, before we talk about strategy and check any of that, I do want to check here this last yellow flag and who was leading at the time. It was, I believe, Kevin Winker. And yeah, looks like he's got the lead by plenty right there, at least half a truck. And you saw the yellow flag fly. So Isaac Smallwood checks up. He does bring home second in that stage. And then just behind Isaac, I was trying to figure out exactly who it was. So 92 of Clinton Woodby finishes in that last podium spot for that stage. But a lot of cautions here early. We are now on average of a caution, 1 caution at minimum every 10 laps. Actually, I think it's less than that. But just a lot of aggressive racing as Kevin Winker doesn't make a thought to go. And we did have somebody going right there that was a little bit of an interesting look, interesting decision, if you will. Will Rainwell, can't fault him for going in. Andrew Hansley as well. Jonathan Herbert, Dylan Pause. All these guys just trying to fix some damage that they sustained earlier. So Winker wants to stay out. He wants to keep this lead. And as they're under caution here, let's see if we can get a word with your stage winner. Hey, Kevin Winker, this is Austin up in the booth. Get a copy.
Yeah, I got you.
Well, you get the stage done, but I think the storyline here tonight is a lot of cautions here early, already at 7, not even halfway through this race. How's that playing a role right now on a driver from the mental perspective?
I like it because I'm leading, but it also kind of sucks because it drags everything out, and bunch everybody back up, and restarts are definitely tricky here, but hopefully we can get it settled down here and get some green flag laps. And I know this track is pretty tricky to get a hang of, and turn 2 is pretty treacherous, so it's always a tough one to figure out here.
So it looks that way, but one thing that it seems like you figured out that maybe nobody else has yet is that top side. Looked like we saw you diving it in. Was that something that you picked up here as the race went on, or did you kind of know that coming in?
I kind of knew that coming in. I really like running this place. It's kind of one of my favorite tracks, so I'm usually pretty quick here. I seem to burn my tires off, but we'll see what happens. I know that toward the end of the stage they were kind of running me down, but my tire wear wasn't too bad, so we'll see here, and hopefully we can park at Vicar Lane tonight.
Yeah, sounds like a pretty good plan to me, and so far looking like you're going to be the favorite for that pick. Good luck the rest of the way, and we'll see if we're talking to you at the end of this thing.
Sounds good, thank you.
There you go, Kevin Winker. He said he loves this place, and I think I've loved everything that I've seen about it so far here tonight. The racing itself that it's provided has been phenomenal. Again, you're going to get these kind of races every once in a while where things start to get a little messy, but about even with it, 30 viewers live. Again, appreciate everybody tuning in. to watch the Asphalt Outlaws Racing guys go at it at one of the NASCAR Classics, Rockingham. The rock, high banking in the corners, relatively long straightaways, but it all is under a mile in total. Hard to believe that this track is just double the length of Bristol. But here we go. It's going to be 64 laps now complete. Just under 100 to go here at Rockingham. Green flag back in the air. Kevin Winker again, he continues to choose the outside. It's the best choice, and he gets another really good jump. Mark Beverly, though, this will be his first time challenging for the lead tonight. We'll see what he can make happen. He's going to slide up as they get onto the back straightaway here, trying to get any sort of grip he can, but the 42 is just rolling way too much speed up top right now. Nothing he can do. And Winker will get back clear by a couple truck lengths now as they roar off of turn number 4. The 5 of Isaac Smallwood and the 87 of Joe Yates. We saw these two dueling as they are now last week. You saw what a great finish that provided for, doing more of the same right now, picking up from where they left off. And then Clinton Woodby, Jay Stinson going side by side. This restart definitely looking the most out of characteristic from the ones that we've seen so far here tonight. A lot more aggressive. As a matter of fact, Keith Prince, you saw him slide in line just in front of David Traylor. Taking a ride on board here with David Traylor. Again, he's got our onboard cam, and he is certainly working the wheel a lot. His hands are just cut off from seeing it, but you got to be nice and steady here. And those bumps, again, they will catch your truck in a bad place. But how about some of the single file action we're seeing now? Everybody running a little bit of a diamond approach into the corner, at least is what it looked like right there, besides some of your leaders. Saw a couple of those guys washing up a little bit, trying a couple things different. John Shilino back in 21st, checking up on another one of our drivers with the driver cam, and you can see there he's having to put quite a bit of wheel into it, and the truck's got good grip, especially on new tires. So right now he's going to continue to probably make a little bit of progress, but as this run starts to get into the latter portions, and man, he's going to fall off a lot quicker in terms of tire wear by sliding that front end around as much as he has. And it's Jesse Wise. Ooh, yellow flag back in the air. Rick LePage. Oh, heavy damage here to the driver of the 24. Oh, more contact just ahead for Jonathan Herbert. And this is another big one. That'll be 2 fast spirits down the drain. I'm not sure if Herbert's got one left. Rick LePage, I don't think he was involved in any other wrecks here tonight, but certainly gets in this one in a pretty big way. So here we go. Coming into turn 3 and 4. Oh, they're going to get contact again, and then they make some more contact. Oh my goodness! The 28 got upside down, or the 88 rather. Holy cow, Jonathan Herbert. I didn't know you could hit the wall that hard here. All right, well, here we go. Let's go back and watch this from the chopper view perspective. So here you go. It looked initially to me kind of similar to what that incident that we saw a little while ago where we thought somebody just dove it in too deep. And so is that what Jonathan Herbert does right here? You see, as they get down into the corner, he's going to try to go all the way down to the bottom, and yeah, the truck just starts washing up immediately. So yeah, you got to put that first contact right there on the 88 of Jonathan Herbert, but they save it. Initially right here on the 24, though, you got to wonder if it's from that bump or if he was just maybe not too happy about it as he comes back down the track and finishes up. Some business right there, but let's ride on board here with Rick LePage as he sees all this happen. Yeah, and Rick LePage gets in the corner pretty good. The 88 just gets up there and, well, certainly don't want to stipulate, but didn't sound to me like the truck got loose, and certainly looks like he's starting to turn that wheel left, but I'm going to give him the benefit of that. I'm not thinking there was anything blunt there. I think he was just trying to maybe tuck back in line behind or trying to keep it together there, and fortunately they both wreck in a pretty big way. Watch this hit for the 88 of Jonathan Herbert. I mean, this looks like we're at Talladega or Daytona. To see a flip that massive almost. Gets up on the roof, and then it flips back over pretty quickly. As there you see the 24 Rick LePage slide down onto the apron. And there you heard the engine go boom for the 88 as well in that shot. Take a final look at it right here. Man, that's a wallop of a hit. And the 24 sliding down. A couple of these guys lucky to not get T-boned as well. As you saw the 24 slide up there just after the last truck had went by. All right, so as we go back live, still another caution. It's getting kind of messy right here. 8th caution in just 70 laps. And it is Kevin Winker right now still being scored as your leaders. There you see the 88 of Jonathan Herbert getting the tow bill paid and then potentially getting any optional damage fixed or using that fast spare if he's got one, but I'm not sure that he's necessarily got one left. So it's Winker and Beverly still making up the first row. We'll see what Winker decides to do here. You got to assume he stays on the top. I mean, it's been working the best for him so far. Isaac Smallwood and Joe Yakes making up row number 2. Jay Stinson back in 5th. Clinton Woodby 6th. Eric Hegdahl 7th. Keith Prince in 8th. David Traylor 9th. And TJ Lane rounding out your top 10. All right, well, the other thing I think we need to bring up, we talked about the schedule already, and all that leaves us with is points. And we're not quite through the first quarter of the season just yet, but got a handful of races or so under the belt after Rockingham here tonight. So as we do take a peek at what points are looking like, it's Braden Avila right now who is leading the points after Pocono, as we're actually 3 races in total in. And just behind him is Keith Prince, who, again, I said it at the beginning of the broadcast, Mr. Consistency. And that's why I said it right there. That's going to keep him up near the front in points all season. Kevin Winker in 3rd, but he can improve that with a good run here tonight. David Traylor back in 4th. Isaac Smallwood rounding out your top 5. Jesse Wise in 6th. Joe Yakes 7th. Mark Beverly in 8th. Jesse Calloway 9th. And Evan Schilling rounding out your top 10 in points. And when you continue to get these big fields that show up weekend after weekend, it really does get hard to accumulate those points if you start to fall behind. That's why it's so important to never give up in these races. You got to go for consistency. And sometimes that gets hard to balance as a driver when you have a chance to go for a win. But some good-looking schemes here tonight, catching on to some of these Venom Racing. And then we got a couple sonographic design schemes in the field here tonight. A couple of them towards the front. Clinton Woodby. And here we go. Pace car's going to make the left turn yet again here on the night. A couple more people tuning in. Good to see you, Logan. Hope to see you in FPG after this. Sean Arita rooting on Kevin Winker, the 4Wide Broadcasting Network. Make sure you go give those guys a shout out. Here we go. Green flag back in the air. 73 laps now complete. Believe it or not, we are approaching the halfway mark here in just about 7 laps. Oh, Beverly. Man, he was getting tight trying to stay in the gas there off of turn 2. Again, he's going to have to give a little bit away right there to Kevin Winker. But now, how about what we're seeing here on the bottom? Mark Beverly proving that with the right skill set, you can get that bottom lane working here tonight. Kevin Winker, though. Oh, he gets into Winker. Winker's going to go around on the 42, spins in the middle of the field. He's going to save it. Does anybody hit him? Oh, there it is. He gets T-boned. Rather rear-ended, but oh no, man, Kevin Winker is not going to be happy with that one. From leader to destroyed as Joe Yakes gets involved in this mess as well on the back end of it. Oh man, that's a brutal one there for Kevin Winker. Mark Beverly, again, no ill intent, but he just gets it off into the corner, too deep right here. Let's go to the chopper view first. And does Winker come down at all? No, he doesn't. I mean, Winker is pretty much on rails there through 1 and 2. He does not move his line. And Beverly doesn't wash up by much, but when you're on the bottom like that, you got to wrap the bottom. And, you know, it looks to me like he hits that bump, too, which doesn't help him. Watch this. Watch the truck jump. Right there. He hits that bump, and he's hitting a couple of them, but he just gets up in the 42, barely tags him, but it doesn't take much when the trucks are as on edge as they are here, and Kevin goes for a slide. Actually, you see Woodby and Yakes right there trying to check up for it. Or excuse me, that's Isaac Smallwood and Joe Yakes trying to check up for it. The 87 gets into the back of Isaac Smallwood, but that almost helps because it sends Isaac sideways, and it gets the 87 slowed up just enough to dive to the inside and miss it, but this is where I started getting nervous, and I had the right to be. It's just too many trucks that still have to try to split the 42. You knew somebody wasn't going to be able to see it coming, and fortunately in this case it's the 28, Dennis Steele. Here you go. It's actually good to take a ride on board with Dennis Steele, and I think it's just going to kind of get buried, and he's going to get kind of hidden behind some of these trucks. As you see 45 sliding up, he starts to see the smoke now. Check up, but just runs out of real estate. And looking at this incident here for Joe Yakes after the fact, does he just spin by himself? I mean, I saw him dive to the apron. And nope, 5 Isaac Smallwood still trying to hang on. They both get turned around, and they both go for a slide to the inside wall. So you really just collected potentially your 3 best trucks on the track right now. Now, 3 out of the 5 best ones, we'll call it that way. But Kevin Winker, man, that's heartbreaking. I know his fan base right now is not too happy. We'll try to get an interview with him here in just a moment as we take a couple different angles of this one here. Watch Kevin Winker. I mean, he's going to get absolutely clobbered right here. He almost got upside down as well. I know I said T-boned at the time, but yeah, that's about as hard as you can rear end a truck. And ironically enough, I don't see any damage on the 28. Not sure if he net-coated through him. Winker was the only one that actually got damage from it. Gets back rolling, but I mean, that's, I got to think without a shadow of a doubt, going to probably be a fast repair. The front end's clean, but back end may not do much, but you still need it a little bit when you take a hit that big. You think that it's got to be probably just about halfway ripped out of the car. So he's still sitting on pits right now, continuing to get some repairs, and hell, he's not used that fast repair yet, so maybe he is going to choose to save it with as messy as this race has been so far. But as he continues to sit on the pits, let's actually see if we can bring him back up. As curious to see what he's got to say on that last wreck. Hey Kevin, this is Austin, the booth again. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, you know, we got to do these sometimes, and in this case, I'm not trying to beat you while you're down, but getting a little bit of a post-wreck interview right here. What did it kind of seem like happened there? Was there any radio chatter about it, and it's kind of what went wrong there?
I think Mark just got into me a little bit, but I don't blame him. I'm just more mad about the people that didn't check up at the back of the pack. I was cautious that I'm sitting there and people just plowing me, which is uncalled for, so that's what I'm more mad about. I'm not really mad at Mark. I just, that he's gotten too hot, but it is what it is. But just people gotta be more aware, you know, it's just, that's frustrating. But we'll see what we can do. Maybe I got a fast truck, so maybe we'll get back up there. Still got half the race left here. Certainly
do. And last thing I want to ask you here real quick. Looks like we see that you're saving that fast repair. Is there some strategy here to try to get back to the field and maybe save it for that final green flag stop?
Yeah, and like I said, we're only halfway, so a lot can happen in 80 laps. So I'm just kind of see how it handles and everything, and go from there.
All right, well, sorry to see the look, but thanks for talking to us, and good luck the rest of the way here, Kevin.
Thank you.
There you go, and not too often that we're talking to a driver twice, and that's short of an interval, so that's usually not a good sign. But here we go, green flag back near Clinton Woodby. This will be his first chance to get some clean air and take the lead here on the night. Qualified on pole, but boy, when Winker was up there, he had nothing for him. Mark Beverly, you wondered how far he slipped back. I think he took responsibility for that last wreck, obviously, so yeah, he's going to find himself towards the back of the field as he sits 28. Gave himself an EOL. Respectful move there from a veteran driver, showing you that there really was no intent from it. Just got a little too hot into the corner. But up front, single file already, 4 to 5 trucks deep. Oh, some contact there between TJ Lane and Keith Prince. Everybody saves it as further back. The racing is still tight. 2 by 2. Trying to get a spot in line, trying to single file out, but not everybody has been able to find a spot just yet. And we are now officially halfway through this 160-mile event. So winning bid 160 here at Rockingham, the Rock. The 45 of Tyler Beverly here now on the outside of Sammy Davis. A couple rows behind this, we had even more battling going on. John Shilino is going to jump in line in front of the 63 of Brody Benty. And you see the 2 as well of Jeremy Talley. By the way, I think it's Jeremy Talley. Apologize if I pronounced that wrong. What about what he's been doing here tonight? Went from a couple laps down, all these cautions. He's just been kind of creeping, lurking in the shadows. Got back on the lead lap, and here he is now running up inside the top 20 and 18th. And I'm telling you, that 2 truck's got some speed. He's got a good scheme. Watch for him to go to the front before this race is all said and done. He's still got plenty of time to continue to make some position. And so this scrum has not gotten settled just yet. The 63 of Brody Benty trying to fend off Dylan Paws. Oh, Dylan's going to send it in way too deep. Oh, now they're wrecking again. Oh, my goodness. 10th caution of the night. Mark Beverly gets checked up. Not sure if he was involved. The 63 of Brody Benty. Wondering what in the world just happened. 84 laps now complete. Well, here you go. I mean, we saw this one happen live, but it looks to me here like Dylan Paws just gets in way too deep. But I will say the other problem here is that they're going to go 3 wide as they get into the corner. That's certainly not going to help the scenario. I'm not sure if Dylan was thinking that they were going to go 2 wide, but I mean, even if they do, I think he still makes contact here. He just gets into the corner. Again, way too hot. Here's the onboard shot. Yeah, I don't think he was ever really going to make the corner at that point. I mean, I keep saying no ill intent, and none of them have been tonight, but at a certain point, Some of these guys, they've got to take it a little bit easier here. Again, we still got a long race to go. You don't have to go for it all here in one go, but here's that view in slow motion. So there you see the 63. Just as they're starting to get 3 wide, Dylan just gets in there really hot. The 63 is going to wash up the track. He's going to get into the outside wall. And Will Rainwell here is going to have nowhere to go as the 63 bounces down. Mark Beverly did actually pile into this wreck as he gets into the back of the 17 and then into the front of the 63. That gets that front bumper clip loose. You see it just hanging on there. And then Joe Yakes trying to dive to the inside to miss it. I think he does. Yeah, he's going to miss the inside wall as well. The 88 of Jonathan Herbert slides in, getting a little bit of damage, but nothing too bad. Take a look here from the blimp cam. Another wreck, and lucky that probably didn't collect more, but Mark Beverly, race that went from bad to worse there after getting that EOL, being in the last wreck. This time he gets involved as an innocent victim, but still nonetheless, he's going to be kicking himself for having to be back there in the first place. And that could be a fast pair potentially for Beverly, maybe Will Rainwell. Honestly, even the 63 there, Brody Benty, I think he probably took pretty good damage from that whole incident as well. So as we go back up front, Clinton Woodby still being scored as your leader. Jay Stinson second. David Traylor third. TJ Elaine in fourth. Jesse Calloway back in fifth. Roger Strickland in sixth. Evan Schilling in seventh. Colton Hardy in eighth. And I was trying to take a quick glimpse here on if we had anybody that brought it down to the pits under that caution. You certainly have had a lot of opportunities to take fresh tires here tonight, so you certainly got to make sure that you've been saving them. The amount of cautions we've had, and it does look like we did have some people decide to bring it down, so we're starting to get that mixing of strategy here. We'll see how it pans out for everybody, what different strategies we have. So let's see if we can get maybe another interview here real quick. How about we pull, see if we can pull TJ Elaine into the booth. And looking here, it doesn't look like TJ is sitting in any of the Discord channels. So instead here, let's see if we could bring up maybe Jay Stinson, but yep, Jay by himself. So let's see if we can bring him up. Hey Jay, this is Austin in the booth. You got a copy?
What's going on, Austin?
Well, not much. We see in the Noma Truck Series, similar thing here. But man, a lot of aggression here tonight. Rockingham, a cool track, but how do you kind of work through a race like this when it seems to be caution after caution?
Patience. You know, the guys up here that I'm running with have been very patient. Had a little bit of an accident there, but nothing serious. And giving room, trying to be as forgiving as you can and just have a good time. But the guys been doing good considering the racing. A little bit more caution is probably what we want, but good racing up front.
Certainly has been up to this point. Well, thanks for giving us a quick word. You've been a little bit of the underdog story here tonight, coming from the middle to the front, so keep it up, and we'll see if we're talking to you at the end of this thing.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Austin.
You go, Jay Stinson. By the way, if you haven't checked out Noma's Truck Series and you like what you're seeing here tonight, you need to go check it out. Similar product, great racing here, great racing there. Green flag back in the air. Through the gears we go. It's a good start for Clinton Woodby. Again, that outside line has been just on, like, it almost looks like he's on rocket boosters every time they roll into the restart zone. Just able to pull away from the rest of the field. And Jay Stinson, I think he hit the nail on the head. We've seen, for the most part, maybe excluding the incident there with Kevin Winker and Mark Beverly, a good amount of patience up towards the front of the field. It's been the back where things have been getting a little dicey here through the night. That's why we got to keep our eyes peeled. Back here is another little scrum start to break out back here. Are they going to try to go 3 wide? No. Will Rainwell wants no part of it there. As you saw him actually try to back it off a little bit. And the 25 of Braden Avila trying to go high as we got one coming out of the pits here. Looks like it's the 8 of Nicholas Lawrence. And so does this group finally get it sorted out? Looks like they do, so we'll head back up front. Jay Stinson has settled into third. TJ Elaine, he is now up 10 from where he started on the night as he moves into second. David Traylor is up 24 positions in total from where he started, and Traylor's one of those guys, I feel like I see somebody like this in just about every league that I get to go to where, you know, and I know David practices, but whether he's got the practice or not, they get so much better throughout the race. They go from maybe a mid to towards the back running truck, sometimes at the front just depending, but in tonight's case, middle of the pack running truck to all of a sudden here a front running truck by the end of the race. I mean, he's up 24 positions from where he started as Michael Newman with some trouble on the front straightaway. It's not going to draw the caution. As we look at the side-by-side cam there, and now we go to Michael Newman, one of our other drivers that had an onboard cam. What happened here to get him sideways? Nicholas Lawrence had some trouble as well. They see the 12, he just starts to get out of shape, but that's a good save. Best one we've seen all night as he was able to keep it down in the grass without actually hitting anything. Nicely done there. And then Nicholas Lawrence, this was the incident for him that I think made it look like he was maybe coming out of the pits, but I don't think he was. I think he just got out of shape here. Yeah, coming off the turn. Yeah, just gets loose. Back end snaps around, goes for a slide. Makes some slight contact with the inside wall, but yet again, it did not draw the caution. So we stay green as up front, Clinton Woodby trying to stretch the gap out a little bit. He's got it at 0.3 of a second. And further back we go. The 69 machine of Jesse Wise, who had been caught up in a couple incidents earlier. What a comeback he's making right now in 13th, up 14th from where he started, and doing all that with a little bit of damage. How about an update on the strongest truck of the night? Kevin Winker right now sits in 26th, and man, I know he may not think it's doing much, but I just don't like the idea of having any damage on that rear bumper. Looks like he was able to get some more of it repaired under that last caution, so you wonder how much more speed that 42's found. He's going to keep trying to pick off these positions, and I think when we get to a point where it's either that potential one green flag stop or the last... Oh, man, just as I say something, he gets tight right there as the front end starts to slide. Davis is going to make that move right back around. You got to wonder if that lack of rear downforce is hurting him right there a little bit. But back up front, TJ Lane, he's still applying pretty good pressure here to the back of Clinton Woodby. Swamp Gang says everybody else got audio, and I'm not sure if that's referring to the broadcast. I hope it's not. If it is, somebody else please let me know. From what I'm showing, everybody should be able to hear everything okay. This 4Wide Broadcasting Network says go, Eric, go as well. And here's a little battle between Tyler Beverly. Oh, gets into the outside wall, trying to miss it. Oh my goodness, another claw. Oh, they're going to wreck. Again, we got two into the wall. Oh my goodness. Looks like they save it. They're slow. The two's got damage. He's trying to get down to the pits. He does. So it looks like we're going to stay green for the moment. Dylan Paws trying to figure out what to do with the 25. Oh my goodness. And now Yakes is going to go around. Now it's going to draw the caution. Gets T-boned by Will Rainwell. We got a couple of others sliding in with nowhere to go. Boy, it has turned into bumper cars out here. Just about 100 laps complete. That was another one of those wrecks that kind of seemed to go on for about half a lap. So let's go back, take a look how it starts, and then fast forward to how it ultimately ends. This happens, go all the way back here to Andrew Hansley, who was involved. He was not one of the first guys involved. Joe Yakes, I believe, was one of the first, well, not, I shouldn't say one of the first guys involved, but one of the first to see this incident happen here is actually the two of Jeremy Tolley, who had been having a good comeback run, is going to get involved in this one. So again, this starts on the backstretch. Watch what happens here, is everybody's going to try to miss Tyler Beverly, I think it is. We're going to go to the chopper cam yet again. And here you go. All right, so there you see Tyler Beverly. What's going to happen here is he gets tied off of turn 2. Seen this a couple times tonight. There's the tag to the outside wall. The 2 almost hits the wall as well, but Jeremy sees it. He's going to jump to the outside to try to miss the 45. You see the 33 of John Shileno trying to duck to the inside. And the 2 kind of gets out of control from that. And then the 13 of Mark Beverly trying to sneak by, make some contact with his right rear. Sends him down the track into the 25 of Bray Navila. And then that's going to send these 2 trucks up the track pretty hard into the outside wall, right about where that crossover gate is. And then as they go through turn 3 and 4 here on the wall, you see the 2. He's going to start turning back down. They seemed okay, and this is where Joe Yakes is going to come into the picture. See the 87 go by there. Everything's fine, and then they're going to try to split it 3 wide. Dylan Paws looks like he's going to stay in line and then kind of makes a sudden dart to the bottom here. Watch Yakes. Yakes is holding a pretty steady line. Dylan Paws, but yeah, Dylan just jerks it all the way down to the bottom here and clips the 87. Not sure if he was trying to get below or what, but again, just kind of a mistake from the 99 right there. And that turns Yakes around. The 28, just nowhere to go. Dennis Steele, and then as he slides up here, Will Rainwell is going to pile in. And there's the 14 of Sammy Davis and the 29 of Andrew Hansley. So we'll take one more view of this one here, actually. A couple more, rather. First one from Jeremy Tolley. The onboard shot See just how hard it is to collect the truck when you start getting sideways here. Back this all the way up to where his issue was. He's just trying to drive out of it and just gets behind on the steering. Nothing he can do at that point. But the Joe Yates incident, again, very, very interesting kind of look here. As you're going to see, popping into the picture here is Dylan Paws. Just tries to dive down. Boy, Kevin Winker, you saw it there, though. He was just barely able to sneak by, and then there's the trucks piling in. Sammy Davis with just nowhere to go. So it brings out 11th caution of the night. And we still got 60 laps to go in this race as we get the one to go signal. How about TJ Lane now? Leading the field here, though, at Rockingham. Isaac Smallwood in second. Eric Hegdahl back in third. Keith Prince fourth. John Shilino now up 4 in total, but highest he's been here tonight, sitting in that 5th spot. And I think we're starting to see some strategy play come into the equation here. I mean, with the amount of cautions we've had, I got to think that everybody at this point is on some different tire strategies. Some guys maybe trying to take tires here early and just plan on staying out and expecting a lot of cautions the rest of the way. And some of the other guys maybe trying to save a set for the end. But I think I do got to go with that first strategy. I mean, the caution trend at this point, I just don't see it breaking for that long of a clean run. There's just too much aggression right now. So knowing that, if I'm a driver out there right now, and I'm planning on taking at least 1, maybe 2 more sets, the point is, whenever I want that last set, I'm taking it as early as I possibly can, because I want to make sure that I can get track position at the end of this race when it stays chaotic as it's been. All right, 60 laps to go, 59 as we cross the line. Everybody is good to go on fuel. Back racing, and oh, some tire spin. This is going to cause a stack up. TJ Lane didn't get going. 3, 4 wide out back for just a moment. Everybody is trying to miss it. That chain reaction continues to build up out back, and a wrecking again. Dennis Steele, oh my goodness, we got one up into the catch fence almost. Trying to drive through it now. Nicholas Lawrence made it through, I believe. There's the 45 of Tyler Beverly. Not sure if it was him or Randy Gozy that rode the fence. I think it might have been the 40. I mean, he is totaled. He's trying to roll back to the pits, but I don't think he's going to be able to get there. Go take a look at it here. This all starts from this checkup on the front straightaway here with TJ Lane, and it's just such a small track. Everything bottles up so quickly. Here you go. Let's ride on board. Not sure if he missed a gear or got some tire spin. I initially thought it was tire spin. Nope. He was in the wrong gear, and then he tries to shift down. That's when he does get a little tire spin. But that's what starts this whole stack-up effect. And then we're going to go back here to Randy Gosi, where this all starts to pile up at. And so as a result of this, we'll go to the blimp cam and show you what the stacking up kind of looks like as it just kind of works its way through the field. Everybody's splitting around, trying to dodge it. Randy Gosi gets high. They split 3 wide for just a second. There you see the road just behind the 40. They get 4 wide here. Watch the 28. The 49 of Robert Dudley gets onto the apron, and then they're 3 wide, but you see Bill Hales starting to come down. The 45 tries to split that gap. They make some contact. He gets down into the 28 of Dennis Steele, which sends him up here into the 40, who gets up along the safer barrier, clips the catch fence here. He's going to ride along it for a couple hundred yards or so, where he flips and gets right back on all 4. So here you go. Taking a couple different angles of it. That's a big hit for the 42, man. Tell you what, there's nothing he could do. It was a blindside shot. 53 of Bill Hales. The back end jumping around. 28 Dennis Steele. Joe Yakes maybe slightly involved in this one as well. Is everybody just trying to go through to dodge it? Let's take a ride on board here with Randy Gosi through this. He's got a pretty crazy angle of this one. The gyro cam tries to keep him right side up. He eventually gets back to that correct position. Here's the final look at it from TV3. And so as we do go back live, your 12th caution of the night. And so at this point, we've had a caution. Well, I think on average then we have not ran 10 laps of green flag racing yet. Now, Swamp King says, I have an audio. Now must have been a problem on my end. Apologies. No worries, Swamp. Glad you were able to get it figured out. Appreciate you tuning in. And so all these cautions, look what it's done. It's brought Mr. Kevin Winker right back up in the mix. Now, how competitive can he run with these front guys with still some damage? Again, it doesn't look bad. An aero, not super important here at Rockingham, but you still need a little bit. Is still high speed through these turns, but Kevin Winker now back in the top 5. Watch for him to try to reclaim his throne, which it seems like with as dominant as he's been tonight, kind of still got to feel like he's the race winner. But I'm not counting out anybody else up here because Isaac Smallwood, again, he's coming off the back-to-back wins. We need to start calling him the closer because he has found a way to get it done at the end of these races, and looking like he's got a pretty good shot at it here right now. Eric Hegdahl, Daytona winner. Strong qualifying effort and a strong run so far through just about every race on the season that he hasn't been wrecked out of. And how about John Shilino in third? Got the Sonic graphic design scheme on there and looking for his first win of the season. Maybe tonight's his night. Clinton Woodby, your pole sitter. I mean, everybody just about in your top 5 has a story and a reason that's got them to the front here tonight. And a big part of that reason has been all the cautions we have had up to this point. So it'll be 107 laps complete when we cross the start-finish line. That'll put us at 54 to go. So just about the distance of the stage. Actually, just a lap short of it. But by no means am I ruling out that we're done with cautions. In fact, I'll put up a poll here in just a moment on the amount of cautions you guys think we'll have the rest of the way. I'm curious. We'll put a over-under here, but I think we might hit 15 at the rate we're going. We'll try it again. Here we go as the pace car pulls off. Hegdahl and Isaac Smallwood ready to go back to battle as they go through the gears. What about this? Kevin Winker is going to give a push to Isaac Smallwood right off the start, try to give him some help as they get into turn number 1. And Eric Hegdahl on the bottom rolling a lot of speed, but that 5 is going to hang pretty strong further back. Ooh, we had one trying to save it there. Look like everybody is able to do so. So far, so good as they rocket into turn 3. I don't see any contact. Up towards the front of the field, the battle for the lead. Kevin Winker not sure where he wants to go. Looks like he's thinking about trying to maybe split these guys 3 wide, but he's not going to do it. The 11 of Eric Hegdahl on the bottom. Winker's been running strong up top. Can't do it because Isaac Smallwood is in that line. Smallwood continues to stay even, but somebody's got to give here sooner or later. And interesting from what we see at other tracks, usually that top line would get clear without a shadow of a doubt on exit. And just as I say that, actually, Isaac Smallwood's going to be able to do just that this time around. Kevin Winker, does he jump to the outside of the inside here? You know he's wanting to get around both of these guys and try to start to stretch out a little bit of a lead. See the 4, Jesse Calloway in the mix here with the 63 of Brody Benty, who I couldn't have guessed in a million years would have been up here after some of the incidents that he's been involved in here tonight. But he has done just that. Clinton Woodby up here there is trying to break away from Keith Prince's. Oh, some smoke ahead. Not sure who that was, but whoever it was, they were able to get out of the way and we stay green. And so 3 wide a little bit further back is actually not further back, right towards the front. The 63 thought about splitting Kevin Winker on the bottom side, but he doesn't do so. And so the 11 of Eric Hegdahl all of a sudden, maybe saving a little bit more tire by being on the bottom, is trying to get back in front of Isaac Smallwood, and he's going to do just that off of turn 2. What a power move right there by Eric Hegdahl to just drive it right around on the inside, wrap the bottom. Didn't have to carry momentum because he got clear. The driver out of South Carolina, not too far from this racetrack. Looking to see if he could win it. The track home to the Carolinas. And so now under 50 laps to go. Again, we are not expecting a pit stop the rest of the way. The only question now is, do we see another caution? And if we don't, how do tire strategies of what guys have taken up to this point affect what we see towards the end of this race? And oh, TJ Lane. Oh, the big shot right there to the back of Sammy Davis. That looked like he had some motivation behind that. Maybe he wasn't too pleased, Sammy Davis, but Davis was able to hold on. So they stay green. And I'm just wondering if TJ Lane was that much faster. Again, I'm not sure if he meant to do that, but it certainly looked like it. And I think now's maybe, I'll take it back. I was going to say we'll do a little bit of a crank it up segment here, but Rockingham, one of the tracks that, again, they don't do in real life, so they don't have the best camera angles on it. As we've had a couple guys single file, but not as many on previous restarts here. As here's a little 2x2 action. John Shilino's around hard into the inside wall. No caution just yet. As he's able to get back going, nobody else is collected. And that destroyed, well, I thought it destroyed, maybe not too bad actually, John Shalino, though, will he bring it to the pits here? Does he stay out? Looks like he's going to stay out. Boy, it certainly looked like he was going to clobber that inside wall. Be amazed if he didn't. Here we go. Let's go back and take a look at it. I think he's just going to get loose right here. Coming off of turn number 2. No, he actually gets into the outside wall a little bit, then gets turned. It's the back end and the right side that actually hit that inside wall. So that's where he got all the damage from. Better there than the front, but still heavy enough contact to where that's going to affect his performance. And man, he was just getting up there. We were just starting to talk about him here on the night. About what looked like potentially top 3 finish, top 5. If nothing else for John Shalino, it's going to go up here and maybe a cloud of smoke. If we don't get a caution, he can't go get those damages repaired. Kevin Winker is starting to fall now. He's back to 8th, down 6 in total from where he started tonight, but not sure if he had to stay out, try to pull some strategy here. He's probably hoping for another caution pretty soon. But how about the battle up front? Clinton Woodby, I think, saved a little tire, and now he is trying to put the pressure on Eric Hegdahl, and he's going to do so. In fact, not much pressure to be given here as he's going to get clear going into turn 1. So now he will take over the lead. Remember, it was him and Kevin Winker who'd been battling so hard for most of this race, but after Winker got taken out, you wondered if Woodby would be the next man in line, and it seems like now that might be starting to be the case here. And so as we continue to watch the action on track, we did put a poll out. Do we go green the rest of the way? Let me know what you think here. If I got to vote, I'm going to go with no, but again, you never know here. Let's take a look at what the weather's done here. Track temp has cooled down a bit more, now at 85, and we're getting some cloud cover. It's going to help it cool down a little bit more. Grip level continues to pick up, but if we could get some separation here, just hear me out. Maybe these guys can start to get some good racing, and lap traffic is going to be an issue before this race is all said and done, as we still have 40 laps to go as they cross the line this next time. And so if you're Clinton Woodby, you got to start getting in a rhythm here. Keep it consistent, because you still got a lot of laps that you got to make on these tires. And talked about everybody being good to go on a fuel run. It's still a little, it might be a little close on tires. I think you can make it, but it's the question of how worn out are those Goodyears at the end of a run. And now Isaac Smallwood has migrated back to that top lane, at least through 1 and 2. What a big run the 5 got down the back straightaway through Thunder Valley. He is going to take that run to the inside. Tried the slide job, couldn't make it work, has to jump on the brakes. And that's going to hurt his exit. Here's Jay Stinson, trying to jump to the outside. Another close call there. Isaac Smallwood, I think, was trying to keep that position, maybe tried to bully Jay a little bit there. Jay cut him some slack. And now he's going to try the high side again. This time he gets into the wall. Isaac Smallwood's really pushing the envelope right now. And you got to go. I mean, 40 laps to go, less than that now. Again, it's not going to take that long. These guys are only running 24-ish second laps. So any chance you have to pick up a position, you're going to need it, because as each lap goes by, that track position is going to be harder and harder to gain. So he'll jump to the outside again. Well, I'll tell you what, when we get back, we might be gearing up for the finish, but well, I kind of already spoiled the surprise. We're going to take a quick break. Go get yourself a drink of water, take a break. It's been a little bit of a crazy one here tonight, but it's Clinton Woodby out in front at Rockingham. We'll be right back. Back live at Rockingham for the winning bid, 160. And oh, just as I was getting ready to say something, we had one almost go round out back. But it's 30 laps to go right now, coming to 29 to go for Clinton Woodby, who has extended that lead well over what it was when we initially went to break. In fact, right now he's got a almost 3-second lead over second place Isaac Smallwood. And what's not helping Isaac right now is the amount of battling is, he's in the wall. He gets out of it there, but I think Isaac Smallwood's just pushing it for all it's worth at this point, and I think he's overdoing it as Clinton Woodby's trying to take it nice and easy, but still a lot of battles on track. And I think the only thing that Clinton Woodby's got to worry about right now, well, it's two things. First thing, of course, another caution. Doesn't want to see that right now with the lead that he's made for himself, but lap traffic. We said it was going to be a factor, and some of it is arriving, and I jinxed it. There's the yellow flag. I'm going to apologize now to Clinton, but who was it here? Somebody went around. Not sure if it was the 63 or somebody a couple rows behind here. Jay Stinson, actually, is who's being shown as being involved. And he does have some damage there on the left side of that truck. So it's your 13th caution of the night. Well, I guess I can take the poll down. I was just getting ready to do so. Said, would we see another caution? We only had one vote, but that one vote was right 100% that we would not. Well, actually, I take that back. They said we would. Oh, I said, would we go green the rest of the way? Said no, and yeah, that is going to draw the end of that poll here as we get a live look, rather a replay look at exactly what happened here to Jay Stinson. They're 3 wide behind him. And as they get into the corner, ooh. So this actually, Jay's an innocent victim in this one. This is from the row behind. You see Mark Beverly, David Traylor, and John Shileno 3 wide. And Mark Beverly starts to creep up. Ooh, that's some pretty heavy netcode between those two. Like I said, he does start to creep up, but they may not make contact here. They do, though, as a result of some pretty heavy netcode between David Traylor and Mark Beverly, the inside and middle truck. Right there, the game thinks they're hitting each other. That sends Beverly to the right. Just at the same time, Stinson's starting to get slowed up, so Beverly runs in to the left rear. Jay Stinson, that sends him around up hard into the outside wall as David Traylor and John Shileno make some more contact with Jay. Take a couple different looks here. How about one from the gearbox? Nothing Jay Stinson could do right there. Was driving his normal line. Probably did not see that coming at all. That's a pretty good impact. I mean, that's going to damage the back of that truck as you see him actually get a little bit airborne there as all 4 tires off the ground just for a moment. David Traylor, you got to wonder how much damage that's going to give him in this mess. See what the pit lane cam got a pretty good view of this one here. Take one more look at this here from TV1. And lucky that this wasn't a lot worse than it was, but Beverly's been involved in a couple tonight. First one for Jay Stinson. And then David Traylor, it looks like his luck finally ran out as well. So now we are finally within 25 laps to go here at Rockingham. And some more strategy being played here as Jesse Calloway will take over the lead. Roger Strickland second as Clinton Woodby decided to bring it down for some tires. Isaac Smallwood back in 4th. Mark Beverly 5th. David Traylor in 6th with Keith Prince 7th. Eric Hegdahl 8th. Colton Hardy in 9th. And Brody Benty rounding out your top 10. Well, Jesse Calloway and Roger Strickland, 2 more drivers that have had quite an eventful night. I think I'd say probably 80% of the field tonight has went from back to front and done it all over again at least a couple times. So let's see if we can get a quick word with your current leader here. Hey Jesse, this is Austin up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey man, I got you.
All right, well here you are. You find yourself in the lead at Rockingham. Easily probably the most chaotic race we've seen of the entire season at this point. 25 laps to go. How do you feel about your chances of holding on the rest of the way?
I don't know. I was hoping more guys would stay out and kind of give me more of a cushion, but here we are. I'm just going to give it all I got, and we'll see what happens here.
Well, pointing to that strategy of staying out with 24 to go, is there any thought here of if we get another caution, do you have a tire set sitting over that you go in to take?
Yeah, that's probably going to happen if we get a caution quick here. We'll see.
All right, we certainly will see. Well, hey, appreciate you giving us a quick word. Good luck the rest of the way, and see if we're talking at the end of this thing.
Yeah, appreciate you, man.
All right, we slid Jesse back down. As you see there, one of the loose lug nut drivers. And so he's hoping for a quick caution here, potentially to go put on some tires. And Clinton Woodby, he's hoping we can go green yet again. 23 laps, 23 miles to go in the winning bid, 160. The amount of lead changes we've had tonight, I think, has surpassed what we saw at Daytona and Talladega earlier in the season. But here we go. Green flag is back in the air already. There's the move from the 92. Clinton Woodby is quickly going to try to wrap the apron. I think he thought he was going to shoot up, so he actually bails out of it. That's going to allow the 4 of Jesse Calloway to sneak away here just a little bit. Woodby still side by side right now with Isaac Smallwood. Smallwood making a look on the outside here, a run if you will, trying to get to the 52. He's going to do so as he draws even with his door going down the straightaway. Clinton Woodby's going to split him. He knows it's go time. He'll go 3 wide into the corner. Mark Beverly maybe thinking about taking a peek up top. Oh, Isaac Smallwood's around. There he goes, hard into the inside wall, and he collects Clinton Woodby. No caution yet. Woodby is destroyed. And the 92 has fallen victim to what so many other guys have here tonight. Isaac Smallwood, he's got pretty significant damage on the left and right sides of his truck. I'm shocked that one did not bring out a caution, as now it does, and that's because looks like we've got more wrecking, unfortunately, towards the front here, or maybe towards the back. I can't even tell anymore. Here we go. This is on the barrels coming to the pit entry. So this is off turn number 4. That's Andrew Hansley. I think Evan Schilling may have been involved in this as well. All right, well, let's go take a look at 2 separate incidents. One brought out a caution, one didn't. The first one we're going to take a look at here was the incident between Isaac Smallwood and Clinton Woodby. I'm thinking Isaac Smallwood maybe gets up into this outside wall or he gets loose. Let's see here. And he had been running pretty fast there for that first lap, trying to get up to speed. Isaac Smallwood, that is, and thought he found something. It seems like he did, and then all of a sudden, he seems spinning out in the back straightaway. So you look from the chopper view, and oh, actually, he runs into the back of the 4 truck right there, pretty hard. That's Jesse Calloway. Yeah, he just runs flat into the back of him, and that sends him around. And he collects, of course, Clinton Woodby. He's able to slide into the inside wall now. That was a really, really odd look. Let's take a cockpit view with Smallwood and then Jesse Calloway here. I find it hard to believe that he just ran up with that much more speed. I wondered if maybe Jesse Calloway was having an issue, thought he was going to hit the wall and had to bail out of it last second. Here you go, take a... Oh my goodness, yeah, I mean, full speed, there's no chance he can check up for that. And so, let's go find Jesse Calloway here and take an onboard ride with him and see if this gives us any further explanation on if he had to check up here coming out of the corner. Yeah, he does. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. He thinks he's going to hit the outside wall. He's on a lot older tires. What we saw right there for Isaac Smallwood and Clinton Woodby. That was a hard hit for Clinton Woodby, and that's second driver tonight that looked like they could have won this race and unfortunately got taken out due to bad circumstances and nothing really they're causing then. Andrew Hansley, what happens here on the front stretch? That's the next incident we're going to try to break down for you here. And actually, this was the back straightaway. Take it back. I didn't realize they had barrels on the back stretch. That's a interesting... Yeah, I guess that would make sense, actually, because the pit's not big enough here down the front straightaway. So the 18 was in it. Haven't had a chance to talk about Evan Schilling too much here tonight, but he towed. So makes you think that must have got pretty good damage from whatever it was that started this. And it looks like it's going to be a hornet's nest where it originates in. And there you see, looks like the 63... Ooh, maybe gets a little bit of a bump right there from Robert Dudley. That gets him down the track. He gets into the right rear of the 18. That sends Evan Schilling up hard into the outside wall. And then just in front, you see Colton Hardy with a separate issue as he's going to go around and then trying to miss it. Haas Beverly with nowhere to go. Makes some more contact. And then 69 here. Looks like Calloway slides on the outside. The 8 had it locked up. It just unfortunately could not get it wound up in time. And then you see the 29. Couldn't make a decision, so he decides to lock it down, spins it out, but ultimately, again, doesn't hit anything, so he should be okay to keep going. Here's another look at it. That's a big hit right there for Evan Schilling. Just about every hard hit we've had tonight has totaled one of these trucks. It's not more, and that one I think is going to collect maybe a couple fast spurs, including the incident that happened that did not bring out the caution. Here's another look at it from TV3. And so as we go back live, 17 laps to go. Did they get the one to go signal just yet? I think they did. Yeah, they certainly did. So it's going to be Mark Beverly choosing the outside, Eric Hegdahl on the inside. David Traylor up 25 from where he started. Back in row 2 alongside Roger Strickland. TJ Lane currently rounding out your top 5. So we had a couple more guys now coming to take tires. And you still got to wonder, what can a guy like Kevin Winker do? You see him 4th on the inside, fastest truck all night. But he's got some work to do here to get through this traffic in these next 17 laps. 17 miles now to go. It'll be 16 as we cross the line. Green flag is back in the air at Rockingham. Good start for Mark Beverly. He's trying to get clear to the outside through turns 1 and 2. He is going to do it. First time now in the lead on the night for Mark Beverly. He'll take it over Eric Hegdahl. And what does David Traylor do here? We got one spinning out back. The 29 of Andrew Hansley. And we'll bring the caution out yet again. And there it is. Hey, I guessed it right. 15th caution of the night. So we did make it to that number. I don't know if we're done just yet, but this will now probably put us at a restart with maybe under 10 laps to go. Doesn't look like there's going to be too much to break down in this one here. Question is just whether or not he got some help. Taking a look at the blimp cam here. Watch the 29, bottom middle of your screen. And yeah, he is going to get some help here. Clinton Woodby on fresh tires. Go time gets to the inside there or tries to get to the inside rather, and just gets into his left rear bumper and sends him right around. So Hansa goes for an innocent spin. Ooh, John Shileno does make some contact there towards the end. Gotta wonder if that's going to break any of the suspension in the 29, but he was able to roll off. So as we go back live, will we see any pitch strategy at this point? I mean, 14 laps to go. Figure if we get the one to go next time, it's going to be right about 10 laps to go. These guys are running out of laps to even try to pick up track position, and you think about the fact that if we get another caution, it counts off even less laps than that. Again, thanks everybody that is tuning in. I know it's been a long one here tonight, but hopefully I've been entertaining enough to keep you hanging around. This guy's been putting on a good show, and we've got the racing, and still could have a good race for the finish here, but it's just one of those tracks. Very technical. It's been very tough here tonight, and well, it's the only time we had here on the season, so you won't have to worry about it again. But 15 cautions for a 160 lap race. I mean, we're on track. If we get one more, then that would make us an even average if we stay green the rest of the way after that for a caution every 10 laps. But so Mark Beverly, again, first time he will be controlling the restart here tonight. See what he can do, looking for his first win on the season. Eric Hegdahl looking for his second. Traylor looking for his first. Roger Strickland back and forth up 14 from where he started. Taking a quick look at the split. So the manufacturers in the field tonight, 2 Fords leading, followed by 2 Toyotas, 3 Chevys. And the field overall is mostly dominated by Chevys with a couple Toyotas sprinkled in. Don't forget, after this race is over, actually at 10:45, to be specific, 10:40 actually, Coach Racing Network is going to be going live again as I head over to FEG PC Money Racing. Those guys are going to be battling out for gaming PC tonight, the top 10 highest earning money racers of 2023. Whoever finishes the highest of those 10 tonight in that race will win a gaming PC courtesy of FEG PC. Man, that's going to be a fun one. I think you're going to see probably some of the most aggressive super speedway racing that we have seen anywhere in a while. We got to get this one completed first and crown ourselves a champion of the Rock first. So Mark Beverly lining up first. Eric Hegdahl, David Traylor rounding out the podium. There's Strickland and Keith Prince now back into the top 5. And I keep calling him Mr. Consistent. Guess who one of the probably 3 guys that has not been involved in a wreck tonight has been? It's been that 3 truck of Keith Prince. So watch for him to maybe make a big move. Kevin Winker didn't really have much of a chance to go anywhere. But again, still can't count him out of this thing just yet. So we'll have to watch for Kevin Winker as they do get the one to go signal. So it'll be 11 laps to go. That is scheduled for just under about 5 to 6 more minutes worth of racing if they can keep it clean. But again, we got to make it to the white flag before this race would be declared official. Now you saw Clinton Woodby, who by the way was involved in that last wreck, trying to make some progress pretty quickly, but the problem is he's back in 23rd, and I think unfortunately for him, he's just buried way too deep in traffic. Now, tell you another thing that I was looking at here, and I know nobody's going to try it, but just for fun, I know everybody watching remembers Ross Chastain doing the wall ride at Martinsville. This track kind of has that look to it a little bit. And I always wondered if somebody could make that wall ride work here. I don't think you could. I think it's too fast of a track with the banking, but we've seen a couple guys riding the wall, not intentionally, so you never know. But here we go. The pace car is going to pull off. 11 laps to go at Rockingham. Green flag back in the air. And a good start for Mark Beverly, but Eric Hegdahl is trying to hang on the left rear into turn one. He's going to be able to do so. Beverly, though, able to roll more speed through the corner. He will get clear. Further back, they continue to single file out. Too wide, Keith Prince finds a spot in line. Stinson and Dudley side by side. And everybody giving each other a little bit more room to work with this time around. Oh, just as I say that, Stinson and TJ Lane get together. Kevin Winker in this mix as well. There's the 52 of Roger Strickland, and Winker is on full go mode. Question is, does he have enough tire and does he have enough time to get anywhere? Beverly's going to try to pull away up front. We got one spinning out back. Looks like it was Brody Benty. Does not draw the caution, but he does make some contact with the inside wall. So as we go back towards the front, the battle for the lead is on. Actually, it's more a battle for second right now. David Traylor trying everything to get to the inside right here of Eric Hegdahl. And now yellow flag is out. And so we'll hold that thought. Just going back to see exactly where it is. TJ Lane has crashed. And I see smoke out the back, so looks like this is going to be that one fast pair, assuming he still got it for the 51 machine. Now it's going to give us a restart with under 5 laps to go. Let's see what happens to TJ right here. And further back, that's the 31 of Jay Stinson. And TJ is trying to get clear here, trying to pull a little bit of a slide job, and I think there's a little bit of right rear neck code between those two, and it's a little interesting because we have not really seen much of it tonight. But yeah, definitely think you see a little bit right there. But that's hard to say. I mean, TJ does look like he's still slipping up the track a little bit. Definitely washed up a bit. Stinson was not going to give him any more racing room than he needed to, and then maybe a little bit of neck code right there. It's hard to tell, but they do eventually get hooked together, and when they do, big shot to the outside wall. The 51 and the 31, as you see the 16 pile in there as well. Nowhere to go. Take a couple angles of this. I saw somebody else make some pretty significant contacts. The 52 of Roger Strickland. Robert Dudley, I think, is actually going to miss this, and once he gets turned, just nowhere to hide. The 12, though, of Michael Newman. See him back in the mix, was able to dive low and miss it, as was the 2 of Jeremy Tolley. Still potentially has my vote for comeback award of the race. Jeremy Tolley, that is. Take one more view of this here. That's all in all going to go down as about a 3 or 4 truck wreck. Again, could have collected a lot more, but by bringing us back under caution, you're not pitting here. If you pit here, unless you have damage, then you are automatically ending your chances of a win, because it's been all track position here. The entire race, it's been track position here. At the end, you better believe it's going to be track position. And with what's going to be probably 4 laps to go on a restart, you are going to have to go all out right here. Whatever the tires got left, make sure you use it. You're not saving for any overtimes. You got to get all you can get right here. And so it looks like they didn't get the one-go signal this time. So what we're going to do is take one more break on the night. We will be back, and we will stay here the rest of the way for the conclusion of the Winning Bid 160. Stick with us at Rockingham. Back live at Rockingham, getting ready for the conclusion of the winning bid. 160 on the front row. Mark Beverly trying to hold on for his first of the season. Hegdahl trying to add his second one. Green flag back in the air. 4 laps to go at Rockingham. Side by side down into turn number 1. It is Hegdahl getting a little bit of an advantage. He pokes the nose out in front, but now Beverly's fighting back on the top side. He'll get the momentum down the back straight away. And these guys have to all keep it clean for 3 laps to take that white flag to make this race official. That top lane has been rolling all night on the short run. And that might be all Mark Beverly needs is that clearance right there, because now what's going to happen is David Traylor is going to take a look to the inside of Eric Hegdahl. He wants more. Oh, further back, Winker's trying to get a position. Almost got into Keith Prince. He's able to avoid him as further back, still 3 wide, fanning out everybody. Trying to keep going. Oh, Woodby's down into the inside wall here. And this will bring the caution out as, wow, this one's going to collect, it looks like 5 or 6. The 8 of Nicholas Lawrence is in it. The 21 of Lance Thompson. Pulling out of frame there was Sammy Davis. And so now this one will officially end Woodby's night. Well, they got 2 laps away from it, but they wanted to add on yet another one. So let's go back and take a look at what draws this caution here. And it's going to be going down the back. Watch. Clinton Woodby, does he... Oh, gets into Haas Beverly. And what happens to cause this checkup for Haas? Does Haas maybe get some help? Nope, Haas Beverly gets loose out of the turn. That's what it is. And then saves it. But Clinton Woodby has a head of steam and runs up on the back of him when he makes contact. That gets him out of shape. And so as Woodby's trying to save it here, ultimately just not going to be able to do it. And he'll go for a pretty hard shot into that inside wall. But there's a second wreck after this, just behind, that you see Nicholas Lawrence is actually involved in with Lance Thompson. And that's the one that almost looked like it collected more trucks in the first part of it. So here we go. Let's see what happens with these guys. Ooh, Lance gets into the outside wall as well. And then when he comes down, collects Sammy Davis. And as they swoop down, they collect Nicholas Lawrence. Take one more look here from the blimp cam. All right, so as we go back live, now we are officially going to get pushed into overtime. Fuel, I don't think it's going to be a concern strictly because of the amount of cautions we've had in regulation. I think you've been able to save whatever you've needed. And at this point, of course, we already talked about you're not going in for tires. I mean, that's not even a question. So it'll be a 2-lap shootout. If they can keep it clean for 1 lap, then this race will be official and we will crown a winner no matter what happens. But if they don't, we'll rack them up and try it again. And I believe we do have 3 green-white checkers. I'll tell you what, Kevin Winker needed to see that caution. He's moved up a little bit further. He's going to looks like going to start 3rd on the inside here for this next restart. When we started this race and through about the first half, he was the dominant truck until he got in a tangle there with Mark Beverly. Things have been a little bit tougher to try to get back to the front since then. This is the closest he's gotten, and going to try everything he can here to pick up 5 spots here in these 2 laps. Just don't know if it's enough time. And David Traylor still trying to hang on. What we saw there was Eric Hegdahl able to make the inside work for about a set of corners or 2, but it seems like after that first lap, the outside is able to roll just a little bit better. So you wonder if David Traylor is playing that into his strategy at all right here. Well, let's go ahead and ask him about it and see what he's got to say. All right, and here we go. Hey, David Traylor, this is Austin up in the booth. Got a copy?
10-4, gotcha, Austin.
Well, we're finally there. I mean, it's been a long one tonight. A lot of cautions, a lot of wrecks. You've avoided the brunt of them, and here you are. You find yourself with a chance yet again. Seems like we're seeing this just about every week at the end of these races to go for a win. But that outside's been rolling. How do you beat the 13 in these 2 laps?
I'm going to need him to make a mistake. Getting that jump is huge, and passing on this track's hard enough. And Mark, he's one of the fastest guys on the track, so I'm going to need him to slip up somewhere, maybe get a little loose going in or something. And I'm going to need to have a perfect 2 laps if I want to have a chance to win this one.
Certainly looking like you'll have that chance. Thanks for talking to us. We'll let you get ready here. Good luck. See you in victory lane.
Thanks, Austin. Hope to talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. David Traylor still looking for the first one. Tonight might be his night. Mark Beverly in the same boat. Could he potentially get the job done here tonight as well? We are getting ready to find out here as we'll go back to full screen. David Traylor will have it on his driver cam if he wins it, and he will be excited. But here we go, 2-lap shootout, overtime number 1 at Rockingham. The winning bid 160. Who is going to win it? It's been a night filled with chaos, a night filled with cautions. And now it all comes down to this. Green flag back in the air. Mark Beverly immediately is going to get off through the gears with a good jump. And out the back gate, we're watching for Kevin Winker. He's actually looks like buried a row deeper than I initially thought. But David Traylor quickly lines up behind Mark Beverly. Beverly just doesn't make a mistake, but they're wrecking out back, so the caution's back out. It's Will Rainwell who goes around along with the aid of Nicholas Lawrence. So we're going to rack him up and try it again. The 8 gets it spun around. And I think we have just enough green light checkers here to hit 20 cautions. If we wreck in the next 2, which of course we're hoping doesn't happen, but continues to be that kind of night. We'll take another look here. At this point, I don't even know if you guys are really interested in my replays anymore. But here we go. Just starts up front. Yeah, Will Rainwell gets on the apron. Does he get any help to get down? It didn't look like it, did it? I think he gets a little loose. Let's see here. We're going to go up to Will Rainwell. Watch as they get into the turn here. Yeah, he just gets loose. Gets on the apron, trying to get back up, trying to save it. John Shileno with a head of steam. Runs into the back of him. He slides up, gets into Evan Schilling, and then see the aid of Nicholas Lawrence trying to miss it. It slides down, and I think that was the 24 of Rick LePage. He made pretty significant contact right there as well. And so Will Rainwell, got to wonder if that'll be a fast pair for him. He's got a pretty good dent there in the rear end. Not sure how bad it was on the front. Here's another look at it. And when you get on the apron like that here, it's a recipe for disaster. John Shileno couldn't check up fast enough, and things happen so quick here. It's just been that way all night. So, by the way, I thought Clinton Woodby's night was over, but you saw him right there, able to at least make it back out on track, and going to try to scavenge whatever finish he can here. And they were about half a lap away from making it official, but you can rack them up and try it again. I believe they have a total of 3 green-white checkers. So if they get another caution on this one, we can try it one more time. After that, though, if they get a caution, then we will just end the race under caution. So Mark Beverly still being scored as your leader. David Traylor still in second. Eric Hegdahl third. Keith Prince in fourth with Robert Dudley back in fifth. Kevin Winker in sixth. Michael Newman seventh. Jesse Wise eighth. Jeremy Tolley, how about this? Now back up inside the top 10. We saw him get to the top 15 earlier after making a comeback from being over a couple laps down. He's trying to get the Sonic graphic design Chevy Silverado with the top 3 here tonight. He's got a good chance at it here, or excuse me, top 5 rather. He's got a good chance at it. 4 more spots in 2 laps. Certainly can't rule it out of the question. See if he's got enough. And so look at the pace car here. I think we'll get the one to go signal this next time around. And so that time Traylor did not quite get the restart that he needed to really have anything for Beverly, at least on the back straightaway. And he said he's going to need Beverly to make a mistake, but I mean, if you're David Traylor, maybe you think about trying to read that 13, maybe try to guess a little bit. It's just kind of all risk versus reward. You don't want to jump the restart, but if you can hang even on that inside, I'm telling you, David Traylor may have something for Mark Beverly down into 1 and 2. But if they get to 3 and 4, Beverly still has the outside. I think Mark is going to be able to control the rest of this race. It's just all about finding out. And then, of course, Kevin Winker, I was wondering here, by him getting put on the outside now, you got to maybe wonder a little bit, is he able to make some more progress? He's been fast up top all night. But I think by this point, a lot of guys have started to figure some things out with which lanes work the best. And Mark Beverly's not just going to give up that top too easily. Track temp down to 80 degrees, so the grip level has picked up. This is the highest it's going to be all night. And if anybody's got fresh tires, this will be your fastest laps as we approach 3 o'clock, or actually 3:30 sim time, it looks like. And we get to get this race done. Going to be officially going down the books, it looks like, as about 2 hours in real life time from start to finish for this 160-mile event. And it's all going to come down again to a 2-lap shootout with a chance to see if we can make it to the white flag. All right, David Traylor on the bottom. This is going to be the make or break restart. If you're Traylor, you got a second chance at it. You didn't quite get it right last time. Can you get it right this time? We're going to take a ride on board on his right front. And watch here, Mark Beverly, as he goes, we'll see if David Traylor can match it. Here we go, overtime attempt number 2 at Rockingham. Into the restart zone they go. And on the gas, oh, I thought he got the restart. He didn't, he bailed out of it. Trailer looked like initially he was able to match the 13. And by bailing out of it, he's still able to stay side by side in the turn, coming off at number 2. Mark Beverly, does he get clear? He does. Looks like David Trailer, though, is going to try everything here to stay committed to the inside. Beverly going to stay the top. I think he'll ride that wave the rest of the way. Here they come out of turn number 4. White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go at Rockingham. 2 more sets of corners for Mark Beverly. One of the series admins and owners hasn't been able to capture a win just yet, but he's 2 corners away from it. David Trailer, 1 final attempt into turn number 3. Nothing doing. He'll try the high side. It's not going to be enough. Mark Beverly will come out of turn 4, and he sees nothing but checkered flag. He's going to win it at Rockingham. Gets the job done in one of the craziest races that we have seen so far on the season. Had to go from the back to the front after getting an EOL. And what a win for Mark Beverly, the driver out of Salem, Ohio. Kevin Winker goes by, gonna think to himself, what if? Official gap the line. It was about 1/10.5. Back to David Trailer, who just could not quite find enough there at the end. As he comes around to celebrate here, let's take a look at your finishing results here on the night. Mark Beverly, your winner, as he continues to burn it down and celebrate. Bringing home second tonight was Keith Prince. Or excuse me, David Trailer. Didn't mean to get that wrong. Keith Prince back in 3rd. Going on to 4th, it's Kevin Winker and Eric Hegdahl. Rounding out your top 5. 6th place is Robert Dudley with Jesse Wise in 7th. Michael Newman back in 8th with Bill Hales in 9th. And Dennis Steele, good comeback for him as well. He rounds out your top 10. Jesse Calloway finishes in 11th. It's going to be Jeremy Tolley in 12th. Another good comeback for that driver as well. TJ Allen in 13th. Jonathan Herbert 14th. Colton Hardy in 15th with Brody Benty in 16th. Haas Beverly 17th. Jay Stinson 18th. Clinton Woodby in 19th. John Shileno rounding out your top 20. Andrew Hansley 21st. Will Rainwell 22nd. Roger Strickland in 23rd with Rick LePage in 24th. Evan Schilling 25th. Nicholas Lawrence in 26th. Braden Avila in 27th. Lance Thompson in 28th. Sammy Davis in 29th. And rounding out your top 30 tonight, Joe Yakes. Isaac Smallwood in 31st. Tyler Beverly 32nd. Randy Gosey 33rd. And Dylan Pause rounding out the field tonight. He finishes in that 34th position. All right, we are going to go get your top 3 in here for interviews. Stick with us. We will be right back at Rockingham. All right, back live at the Rock. Going to start first tonight with your 3rd place finisher, Keith Prince. Keith, got a copy?
I got you, Austin.
Well, in a race filled with nothing but chaos, as you've been all season, you were Mr. Consistent, stayed in the top 10 and top 5 just about the entire night, and it pays off. You bring home a podium. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, it was a lot of riding around under caution. It's real tight racing. We were running green. It was a lot of fun. Like I said, it was a lot of slippery, slipping off of 2, and I don't know when the wrecks happened. Thankfully, I was fortunate they were behind me. Like I said, stayed up front. That was my goal, just get out front. Hopefully everything would happen behind me. I didn't want to try to drive through it here, but got a podium finish out of it. I'll take it.
Certainly did. Next week, we head back to a different style of track. It's 1.5 miles, but it drives like a super speedway, Atlanta Motor Speedway. Is that where you're going to try to maybe set yourself up for that first win on the season, or do you try to keep the consistency going with just a good, solid run?
Yeah, we'll see, man. It's tough to pass there. It's so narrow. Like I said, it's more like a Daytona Talladega, but just don't have the width. So we're just going to come in every week with kind of a game plan, what we want to do, and just kind of let everything play out and try to stay out of trouble, try to stay clean and have a shot at the end.
Played out well tonight. Well, thank you for talking to us. Before we let you head out, though, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, I want to thank my wife, Susan, for letting me come in here and race every week. Thank you for your broadcast. I know it had to be a rough one tonight with all the cautions. Probably need to go get you a throat lounger. Congratulations to Mark on getting the win. Thank him, Haas, Tyler, for all the work they put into this league. Songs for Sound, and thank my teammates, David, Evan, Brody. Mike couldn't be here this week. He's having to deal with some work issues. And thank Rick LePage. He does pretty much all my paints and is one of our teammates as well.
Sounds good. Well, congrats again on the third place finish, and we'll see you next week at Atlanta.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
All right, now that'll bring us to your second place finisher here on the night, David Traylor. David, this is Austin the booth. Got a copy.
10-4. Got you, Austin.
Well, you come up a little short of the win, but I mean, can't be too mad with the result. You bring home second in what was a very chaotic race. What were you thinking on that last restart? It looked like you tried to match it, but just couldn't quite do it.
Yeah, on that last restart, I was looking for any slight twitch of the truck, and thought I had it timed perfectly. I hit the gas definitely before him, and then I noticed he wasn't going, and immediately I was like, I can't get a black flag. I've come way too far, so I had to check up just a little bit, and that was just all he needed there for the win.
Well, you got caught up in a wreck early in the race, and when we see this many cautions, it's hard to get track position. So how do you kind of make that adjustment with strategy in race? Do you just kind of think that it's going to be a caution? Do you stay out? I mean, how do you go about it?
It's one of those things you just think about on the fly. Obviously, we're having a lot of cautions there, and I thought, okay, well, if we can time these right, let these guys burn their tires a little more than me and catch them back. And it's a lot of things come into your mind when you're, driving around the track at 160 miles an hour. So luckily, we played it right. I know a couple guys behind us pitted a little earlier, and they were on a different strategy, but we came out where we needed to be.
Certainly did that. Well, before we let you head out tonight, is there anyone you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, I want to shout out to obviously my teammates, Keith, Evan, Rick, Brody. They did their best. I know Brody got caught in some incidents. Keith obviously top three with me. Evan had a couple problems there too. But overall, kind of helped each other out, what we needed to do, where speed was being made. Shout out to you. I know races like this aren't easy to broadcast. I do my best up on the front to keep it clean, but obviously you turn it into the best broadcast you can every week. Thanks to the Beverleys for putting this league on. Thanks to JC Newman. Like I said, they're on the truck again this year. Good partner of mine. Some great scars over there. And then shout out to my dad watching at home and my fiance in the living room.
Well, thank you for talking to us. Congrats again on the second place finish, and we'll see you out here next week.
Thanks, Austin.
All right, and now that is going to bring us to your winner here on the night, Mark Beverly. Mark, this is Austin up in the booth. Got a copy.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Well, you score your first win of the season in what was probably the most chaotic race of them all. How did you fend all the competition off there at the end of the race?
Well, I guess I just got lucky at the right time, the right place at the right time, just with the cautions. I mean, you can't really pass too much if you only have like 5 lap runs. So just got lucky, I guess.
Well, you can call it luck, but we saw you get that EOL when you tangled with Kevin Winker, and you still managed to go from basically all the way at the back to the front by the time this race is all said and done. Now, next week, we're going to head to Atlanta. How do you feel about your chances of going back-to-back?
Well, I guess anybody can win there. I'm just hoping that it's not a caution fest. I like to do some green flag running. That'd be nice. So let's just hope for that. And then if I get the dub, that'll be an extra bonus. So.
Certainly will. Well, before we let you head out to celebrate tonight, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, shout out to our sponsors, Winning Bid Diecast, Sonic Graphic Design, Nirjuana. Shout out to you for putting up with this long broadcast, and everybody out there watching. So.
All right. Thank you for talking to us. Again, congrats on the win. First one of the season. Expecting a lot more to come, and we'll see you next week at Atlanta.
Absolutely. We'll see you next week.
All right, and that is going to wrap up our coverage here tonight at Rockingham. It was a long one. It was a brutal one, but Mark Beverly conquers all the challenges. He comes out on top. He conquers the rock, and we will see who can conquer Hot Atlanta next week. Make sure you tune in for that one. Same time, same place here on Ghost Racing Network. And now we're going to go head over to FEG PC to crown a PC champion. Give someone a new gaming PC. Make sure you check that out. But besides that, thank you all so much for coming out. I hope you enjoyed. That's it for me, Austin Green, here on Ghost Racing Network. Until next time, have a good night.